124. Instagram UTV 124. Twitch UTV 124. TikTok UTV_124. And Flow TV channel 124. Remember, UTV TV for you.
You're listening to DBJ.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about the it's all about top true full power tonight there. That's my first time MCing, so don't mind that. Good night, yeah.
Some of them just want easy living, not success reach them watching your things. So you want show up, they can't talk to me. Guardian angels watch over me. Every morning I need on.
We're starting things nice and easy. We have to find the Father first.
No bad company.
We have to find the Father first. Before we start anything, man, we have to find the Father first. Let's go. You in the live on TV right now, big up yourself, big up you, your family, yeah, everybody. I still young, so I know about them MC things, so yeah. You see when you take that first wine, if that carnival and you take that first wine on the road, SF, drop this up for me. I don't know.
You want speed, eh? You want speed? You looking for speed on the color rhythm, eh?
You see, we had carnival this year, last year, next year, but see.
Baby girl, you want to rock it and rock it. Take your time, I want you rock it, baby girl. I said, oh Lord, rock it and rock it.
You see on the roundabout, let's go now. Roll. You see, if you when you roll on that highway. You see when the lockdown finish, look that I have to say when you curfew finish.
Have a little money in the pocket as I just got paid. I could do it a little more, but I'm still irate. So now I'm stepping out to a party. Trouble when I link up with my friends and family. Man, anywhere we go, we mash it up. We rip it up, we mash it up. Girl, them a flip bubble and them a flip back it up. Everybody see me and they say we acting up. We just live it, mash it up. We rip it up, we mash it up. Girl, them a flip bubble and them a flip back it up. Everybody see me and they say we acting up. Hey, so I'ma take a little drink and I go do what I want. And I go wine if I feel like. And I go live how I want. Hey, so I'ma take a little drink and I go do what I want. And I go wine if I feel like. Hey,
You see when you get that one job.
no devices. Work hard, play harder. 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 Work hard, play harder.
You see father woman right now with me. It's a job shop.
Tonight is your night. It's your world, baby.
all the couples in that song. Even though if I had a girlfriend, I would have never say it.
Have your way with me all night.
Yeah.
Carry on, baby. Carry on, baby. Carry on, carry on. Wind it up, wind it up, wind it up. And when I shake it up, I shake it up, I shake it up. Oh, you like that, yeah. And when you bend it up, you bend it up, you bend it up, you bend it up, I like that, yeah. And when you give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, baby, I like that, yeah. And when you give me all of that, when you put it on the spot, I like that. You have me singing 911, emergency. 911, emergency. I don't think I could handle
Fellas, you know why a woman calling 911 on you?
you want me to go? You can be looking the way you do. You can be cooking the way you do. You can be hooking me. If you want me to go, you can be looking the way you do. You can be walking the way you do. Because you're hooking me. Come on. I don't know what to do, so I'm pleading. Plus you ain't give me no reason. Tell me this the end of the season. Mash up everything just so. But you don't understand when you watch me. I said I see that I win the lottery. Or you go pick up just so and then dump me. No, baby, no. But your back on me clothes in a garbage bag. You put it on the ground by the roadside. You tell me get out your plate.
That's right. As soon as we get set for Talk Truth to Power tonight, then
Break my heart. Can't believe you're ready to give up on me just so.
Let's go.
Cause if you want me to go, you can be looking the way you do. You can be cooking the way you do.
you want to know why you looking that way?
So long as you see her, give me a wine up. Give me a wine up. Give me the wine that I want. Long time, long time. So long as you see her, give me a wine up. Give me a wine up. And I will make up for all this time. I'll make up for all this time. Hey, look cool. You know how long we already see you. It could have been about a year or two. All to drink now, what we go do. Hey, long time. Been a while we have bust a line. No change, but you still look fine. Look how you looking fine. I thought you hiding. I thought you went for it. Look how things happen now. Look how things happen now. So let me hug up and squeeze you. I don't even want to leave you. I don't know when we'll bounce up again. So let me take a little thing until then. So long as you see her, give me a wine up. Give me a wine up. Give me the wine that I want. Long time, long time. So long as you see her, give me a wine up. Give me a wine up. And I will make up for all this time. I'll make up for all this time.
Right now, I would like to big up the whole everybody that's on the live right now. Even though you're watching, just know that's young talent. I just started MCing, so yeah.
For a very strange reason, baby, you're so underrated. Cause you are the best I see overall. Hey, but there's no one other than you at all. There is no one could ever call you a fraud. Because you're better than them. You are the best overall. You're better than them. You are the best by far. Hey, yeah. You catch me flirting with a next girl, baby, me sorry. Yeah. Don't try to mash up the thing that we have, baby, no way. Yeah. Cause you work hard for your things, so nobody can say you owe them. Yeah. Hey, overall. Hey. Yeah, you have me weak to my knees and my friends, family, everybody can say you that.
You see when everybody telling you about that, the ladies that like to come my fellas home, SL jump it. That one thing the ladies like, tell them.
Call the Uber now. I am coming to ya.
One thing the ladies like is a Uber.
Call the Uber.
In St. Lucia we have Uber, it's bus we have is 150 or 250.
Coming to ya now. Uber everywhere. Big Uber everywhere. Uber everywhere.
up Selector Young, my bro. Big up yourself.
The only matrimony, don't worry about none, baby girl, I got you. If you the ball, I got you, them other girl, alright. But them not you, let me stick by you like tattoo. Don't worry about nothing, girl, I got you. If you the ball, I got you, them other girl, alright. But them not you, let me stick by you like tattoo. When you walk past, everybody looking at you. Cause you look good from your head to your shoes. So tell her waist girl, say for more. Pretty girl, me say you deserve better. Make me dry your tears and make your pum pum wetter. Pretty girl, me say you deserve better. Diamond chain on your neck. Her ex-boyfriend was a mess. That boy couldn't pass the test. Sweetie, now you with a G. I tell you the holy matrimony. Don't worry about no baby girl, I got you. If you the ball, I got you, the mother girl, alright. But them not you, let me see.
There we go, hey. Slow wine. Hey, there we go.
Body gooder than good. Bada bougie, she can wine and good up. She can shake that body up. Hot like the summer. Surely I can cool you down like the winter. Oh gosh, what a bumper. Oh God, I put a peek on my Insta. Shawty wine and go down. Waste no time when she roll it. Shawty rolling up the thing looking at it. Important that like honey days. I don't know what you do to me. When you wine I'm going crazy. Come over here my baby, oh. Yeah, keep that body bouncing. Booty roll like a dumpling. Come here boy, there's something. Are you alone in the one thing?
You see, for all the ladies out there,
I need you in the morning, but I need you now.
me say if I had a girl, I would have tell her that, but how I.
I find you, I give you all you need. I know what you like. I feel it coming. Time is of the essence. I try to teach you, but I need some lessons. I need to give it all. I try to live, but I can't. I don't know why you're the one. Turn me out of my mind. You don't need no other body. You don't need no other body.
So what this song say, you don't need no other body. You know why?
She know like he got a naughty, but she go chop and if you give her cucumber. Waka from Transamadi till I leg begin shake her with a locumba. Baby make her give you solid, make her even mix am with a lay and I walk pow. Hey, wait, let me tell you.
Imagine you in a fit right now when that song drop. Better now.
They feelin' da 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 da. They feelin' da 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 da. They feelin'. You're listening to DJ. She know like he got a naughty, but she go chop and if you give her cucumber. Waka from Transamadi till I leg begin shake her with a locumba. Baby make her give you solid, make her even mix am with a lay and I walk pow. Hey, wait, let me tell you. She dey feelin' da 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 da. She dey feelin' da 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 da. She dey feelin' da 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 da. She dey feelin' da 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 da.
Better now. Hey, she said infinity.
She say make I put it in, put it in. She say till infinity, oh, infinity, oh. She say make I put it in, put it in.
Ah, that one take me by surprise.
Aye, mama.
That man take me by surprise because I don't even know what song are they.
Do man.
Alright, there we go.
Hable tu show. Hable kawe se umanela upite mama kama tewa. Share ya man. Ini komen ane nute asame akweza ukakite. Ola, ale kote sa mwakani ola. Komwe tume aniti mamwani ola. Dodo, si pa kosa note kabe baba.
Let me wine on you, let me wine on you. Push back, let me wine on you, let me wine on you.
Me say don't mind my DJ I wall already.
Girl, let me wine on you, girl, let me wine on you.
My DJ I wall and me say
I'm catching fever, running on you. Don't wear your body and coiling, girl. I'm not toying with you. I'm a believer, receiver, taking from you. Here's what I wanna do, girl. Let me wine on you, let me wine on you, girl. Let me wine on you, push back, let me wine on you, girl. Let me wine on you. Bend down and touch your toe, girl. Let me wine on you, push back, let me wine on you, girl. Let me wine on you. Catching feelings, we up in the mood. I don't care if anybody fucking us.
they have that one song on the radio. You see if you're in the room with your one lover, tell them this.
Say we toxic, full of toxic love. 'Cause when I say we done, you say we done, then we back together. If that makes us toxic, we don't give up. 'Cause baby, at least we know it's real. Everybody has a time, and everybody has a choice. And baby, I choose you. Yeah, 'cause you're crazy, match my crazy. You're my Beyonce, and I'm your Jay-Z. Even when I'm so mad at you. 1 minute I can't stand you, next minute that is there. I block you just to unblock you, and ask you how was your day like normal. I don't even talk about between the sheets. So sweet, I can't leave. Maybe that is why they say we toxic. Full of toxic love. 'Cause when I say we done, you say we done, then we back together.
You see after that toxic love, you see when you get that one toxic love and you just reach there. You imagine you and your partner on the dance floor right now. There we go.
I've traveled through the stars and many moons to find you, baby. The sugar on your skin, the sweetest melanin, yeah. See when you step out into the light and your body looking right. No constellation in the sky could ever take your shine. I'll travel a million miles just to look up on your smile, baby. Look up to the clouds right now. Say it to me, I will be around for the entire night. See, baby, while I'm close, I'll be here by your side. You're doing things to me that I cannot deny. The way you're looking, girl, you are so certified. Put me back one time when you give me that fast line, 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 fast line,
Fast one, 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 fast one. You see that one fast wine? I want you to do one thing for me and DJ Esther right now. Let's go. You have to liven up yourself, man. Open up. Now that man come and play a song that reminded me of Juve.
Look good. Juve money na jump like a fish out on the road.
Wow.
Wanna go start to post well cause I'm feeling good. She could be a doctor, could be a lawyer, could be a judge. All I know is Juve, and I ain't charge of bam bam. All I want to do is chow, chow, chow. Chow back the bumper,
around and around and around. Turn around and
bend over. Wind to the ground and bend.
put your back in it.
Bend.
Bend out your back and rock out your spine.
Bend.
Yo, see it.
Head, shoulders, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and
Everybody
toes.
now.
1, 2, 3.
Turn around and bend.
The ladies don't want any man to bend their back. You know which man they like?
She want a zessa, a real hot stepper. When she step in the room, a big block on the dresser. She want a zessa, a real trendsetter. Blue notes in her pocket cause he have real cheddar. She want a zessa with big beretta, extended clip, rubber grip and copper. She want a zessa cause she wetter.
She don't want no broke man, it's a zesha she want.
Cause she a zessa man. Big long chain and big slave. And cause she a big long chain and big slave. And cause she a big long chain and big slave. And cause she a big long chain and big slave. And cause she a big long chain and big slave. And cause she a big long chain and big slave. And cause she a big long chain and big slave. And cause she a big long chain and big slave. And cause she a big long chain and big slave. And cause she a big long chain and big slave. And cause she a big long chain and big slave.
Fessa. And for sound, home music. Fessa. Let the girl them show you some tricks, G6. Fessa. 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 She from the X to quick. Make your bum back to that. Run follow and shake it. Fessa. She from the X to quick. Make your bum back to that. Run follow and shake it. Fessa. Fessa. I'm for sound, home music. Fessa. Let the girl them show you some tricks.
There we go.
G6. Fessa. Fessa. She from the X to quick. Make your bum back to that.
There we go.
Run follow and shake it. Fessa. She from the X to that. She from the X to that.
You see when you fess.
Big shake the milk.
There we go. Slow wine. Because imagine that song all Ellen before. See. What? Hey, kadada. Upa kafesa. You know, that's my favorite part in that song. Kadada. Hey.
I really feel a vibe every time I set the right down. And nobody like this man, it's nothing like this, and it's nothing like you. Nothing and nobody like you. And every single time we touch you, I never wanna stop because I always wanna let you know that I love you so much, it's nobody like you. Nothing and nobody like you. So make me ball out. Whoa, oh. Long time this a overdue. Long time this a overdue. Make me ball out. Whoa, oh. Long time this a overdue. Long time this a overdue. Give me some my you give me some my you give me some my grave. Oh, I really need you too. I really wanna feel good now.
No, I am shocked-ified.
No one ever gonna leave cause I'm so invested in you.
I'm money for one hand.
Every time you set the right down,
I'm money for one hand.
stand it nothing like you. Nothing at all.
Ow.
And every single time we touch, no one ever wanna stop because I always wanna let you know that I love you so much, it's nobody like you. Nothing and nobody like you. So make me ball out. Long time is a overdue. Long time is a overdue. Make me ball out. Long time is a overdue. Long time is a overdue.
Check.
Special to me. Where is pleasure?
Yeah. Don't know it's the man, the myth, the legend. Story.
Like the sunlight and the rain fall, like the daytime and the night come. I'll be sure now, come to come back. Please
as we get ready for the mixing of DJ Flame Kid, I'd like to say a pleasant good night to everybody. How you in? TMSL in the building, Panda Baby X, how you in? So we tell them.
And every single time we touch, no one ever wanna stop, cause I wanna let you know that I love you so much. And it's not nobody like you. Long time is overdue. Long time is overdue. Make me ball out. Long time is overdue. Long time is overdue. Because you're special to me. Special to me.
Tell us if you're from Barbono in St. Lucia. Oh, you're very lovely lady and tell him that. Tell him that. Jerry Cassava for you, baby.
Bentley Yama for you, baby.
How you in?
Anything for you, baby. That wine god, boy, your wine god.
Slow wine, hey. Slow wine, hey. Take a wine. Oh. I want you to.
Baby, girl, me when you bend it. Me when you arch your back, show me take it.
1, 2, 3. Them now. As you can see, me and Flame keep young, so we're going to talk to the young ladies for the time. We coming back. 1, 2. Mix me up, Flame Kid.
Gentlemen, wine and go down, make bumper, catch on fire, and I'll be the firefighter. That book, kabale yo kafi me I wanna egg pass Ashley a lighter. Fum, chebe bala min like a kupi, akodi yo kafuye a raja. That book, kagade wek I di famu, akodi yo say news reporter. Jump and wine to the jungle, wine to that jungle, kume sa fini fote. Même si yo gade webi mal parler, ou pani l'argent ka prêter. Jeune femme, fais ça zigzag, fais ça bon mais pas la vie. Toute jeune femme qui belle, est jolie, mais v'lez just écouter. Wine and go down, make bumper, catch on fire, and I'll be the firefighter.
They tell us they're calling us for the new segment Sunday. Flame Kid, give them a taste. A taste. Roll it down. Wait. How you? The new segment's good. Hey, the new segment's good. If your lyrics feel we should be in a Sunday, what's that wine? Hey, what's that wine? Hey, what's that flames? What's that flames? What's that? Whoa, hey, in the chat now.
Sweet like mango, sweet like cocoa. Yes, sit and talk so.
TMSL make it
sweet. That's sweet like mango. Right. Sweet like cocoa. Sit and talk so. My girl, you sweet. Pull up on the side, my girl. On the side, left side, right side, my girl. Yes, why, my girl?
Let me give you all a famous TMSL remix.
That wanna see
famous TMSL remix. Flame Kid, ready? You ready?
Yes, right.
Whoa. Let it go now.
Sweet like mango. Sweet like cocoa. Sit and talk so. My girl. Sweet like mango. Sweet like cocoa. Sit and talk so.
Now I not seeing enough people watching. Tell your auntie, tell your mother, tell your whole household to come watch a live. Because you know, Celsius time. Flame Kid, ready now. All girls say inside. Hey. When you ready, say home. One popcorn watching that live right about now. Because you know why?
Hey baby, your mommy. Tonani, compressor. How you want be? You're troublemaker, eh? Pose like a figure, baby, the penny. Oh, yeah, move, so baby. you know better. Yeah, tell me a teacher you prefer. Alright then.
Ready now.
From Babylon, kick out by Wasco. No Wasco, back up by Boglo. From Venom, cut out by Home Depot. No Home Depot, cut by your Popo. From Babylon,
Young down is for you there. Young down is for you there.
from Venom, kick out by Dillies. Num kiss by your nylon commission. 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 Num kiss by your nylon commission.
Alright, I'm like boom. Right on it, girl. Right like motorbike on it, girl. Boom.
Right about now, we're not asking you all to go outside, eh?
On it, girl. Jump on it.
We're just giving you all a little taste of Denry segments and this with Team SL. But today is Wednesday for now. Let's go.
Yes. I know you got stamina. Walking in the middle and take when the dance floor. Watch when the gal are bent over. Make man grab them cuts and drop them.
If you're ready for next week Sunday, hey, I'm just see flips in the chat right now. You know why? That's what that's going to be going on. That's what that's going to be going on. You know why? I want to get the Team SL remix again, Flemkin. Team SL remix. Hey, I want to do. What? Roll it and stick it and 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 roll it out of control, my girl, just. Looking at my remix. One more time, get you good stuff.
Tack it and drop. Tack it up with a full stop. Send it high like bunkers and lose a rooftop. One bit to get you boost up. Tick it, tack it and drop. Tack it up with a full stop. Send it high like bunkers and lose a rooftop. Got it, that out of luck. Not to say miracle lot like good luck. So we have it, a legend rock. Everybody know that you the baddest girl on the block. Baissez back, pedal up. Egg bien, set it up. Fais yon punch, get up. Fais yon punch, get up.
You know why?
Fais yon punch, get up. Fais yon punch, get up. Fais yon punch, get up. Fais yon punch, get up.
We drinking some rude boy tonight. I'm feeling lucky tonight. We gonna make some loving tonight. Fling up your bumper, send up your leg.
Everybody know.
Ease up her neck, squeeze up her throat. She turn round, bend over, and back it up. The girl let me down. Flat on the man.
Big up to one of Team SL mentors, eh?
Hey, my girl.
DJ T-Book, big up yourself. Mentor from Team SL, you don't know.
Do you want a rude boy? We drinking some rude boy tonight. I'm feeling lucky tonight. We gonna make some loving tonight. Fling up your bumper, send up your legs high. We drinking some rude boy tonight. I'm feeling lucky tonight. We gonna make some loving tonight. Fling up your bumper, send up your legs high. Ease up her neck, squeeze up her throat. She turn round, bend over, and back it up. The girl let me down. Flat on the mat, she jump on the body and start body hop. She bubble, 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 and wobble, wobble, wobble. Get down on her knees, tan, goggle. She swallow every drip that drop from me bottle. We drinking some rude boy tonight. I'm feeling lucky tonight. We gonna make some loving tonight.
For the parents' sake, we're drinking water tonight. No popcorn tonight.
We gonna make some loving tonight. Bring up your bumper, send up your legs. Pick up the girls with the latex grip. When you pick up the girls with the latex grip.
Since we are picking up, we begin up too. We like to find the whole family and supporters that support us. Matthew Sons, AG Sons, my family, my mother, whole Canada girl, Panda baby X in the back. You don't know the whole side had to be here. The whole side to be. Now Flink it. Let's teach them what Team SL is about.
Girls with the latex grip. When you pick up the girls with the latex grip. When you pick up the girls with the latex grip. When you pick up the
Ready now? Come girl now.
Face down, face down, face down, face down. Shake down for the thing, bum.
If you just arrive, you know, we're just giving a taste of what it like, what will be like on the new segments and this with us.
Don't shake down for the thing and bounce.
Hey,
shake down for the thing and bounce. Young girl, you really can't touch this. You better sit down with the saddle and practice. Carry your rump or your button up chat. Everything fat like a full-grown cat. I got my hand for your backboard, then this is your stuff. You shake up the thing and make me drink stop. Bashman no snack, so don't tap out. Come let me show you why.
What she do? She climb on it, then she ride on it. Warm up, we take a time on it. Sit down on it and wine on it.
if you want then, you see we play totally different, eh?
She wine on it.
DJ Flip, kid, you don't call him? See me. See me. See me. Slimmy Kid. Panda baby, I'm gonna do the dance for them, man. Hey.
She go up, down and round and round. I search for this something, but she moan and ground. She go up, down and round and round. Her belly hurt up when she sit down on the stone. Yep, heavy yet, weight lift up. Me God give you could dash here for you and the sister. Well, tight body blister. Love cigar and dash out like dirty water. Good girl got back, bring her to the pastor. Evil, tell alone, on the altar. Baby, fire, tongue ringing at your mouth. Give you something for swallow. Baby, back it up, yes I like a whole jump. Make she move slow like a robot. She bite from me like a donut. She run her man cause she tired of the slow. Baby, back it up, yes I like a whole jump. Make she move slow like a robot. She bite from me like a donut. She run her man cause she tired of the slow. I'm the boss when I inside. Who backs lost when I inside? Call me lost when I inside. Call me.
If y'all know Team SL, we just freak out a lot. So I just want to see, yeah, I on TV they say. Are you in Flame Kid? You have the next one line up? You have the next one line up?
When I inside, call me lost. When I inside, call me.
Right about now, everybody inside because you don't know. Cuff you.
When I inside, call me lost. 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 When I inside.
I like the step for the roll. Experience girl that plays the role. I like the step for the roll. Was a last step another leg but control. I like the step for the roll. Experience girl that plays the role. She have one child, 114-year-old, and she bubble like a 20-year-old. Single mothers are the best. They well blessed. They have flesh and chest and the rest. They have a bamboo and the money invest. I'll be the rest, I'll be the interest. Whoa, she can do a headstand on a western. She can do a headstand on a western. She can do a headstand on a western. She can do a headstand on a western.
Instructions. Bam instructions. Instructions. Bam instructions. This one is bam instructions. Jiggle to the left and wind on the left man. Jiggle to the right and wind on the right man. Boom. And every girl just jiggle flat down. Jiggle flat down. Jiggle flat down. Flat down. Remember you bend down and pose and touch up your toes.
A little instruction time with Team SL, eh? We like to call it instructions with Team SL. Because Flame Kid, you know why? Master Flame Kid. Master Flame Kid, jump it for them. Jump it for them. Every girl now.
I am one of the Denny segment teachers. Can I teach you if you have English switch to
You
Creole?
see why you should understand eh?
Position.
What?
Position.
What?
Bend over. Madela. Go down low. Beseba. This is the English Creole and Patois. Position. Bend over. Madela. Go down low. Beseba. We got the medicine and look at the women law. When I say come, means binny. Your bum see wrong girl. Person want it. Can you stoop low? As you say I could be. Make it balance. If I balance it, tell up on one foot. Move the leg up here. Jump. Sote. Wine. Women. Did you understand? As you go wine. Position. Bring up the girl. Alright. That's just a platter. I know you pass. This is a column. Don't top the come here better than the that's just a platter. I know you pass. This is a column. Now top the come here better than the look how your bumps is all on that panty. Is that hydraulic? It's always so jumpy. You took a piece both from your mom and your auntie. Uniba like a vinny with like cocoa candy. Ben like Kevin Ben front. I see some tasty like my favorite cat. Who I come test you? Not too many. What? Hold on. Not even any. That's just a platter. I know you pass. This is a column.
A little big up in the chat. Big up my mom. I see she there. Selector Young. What's the vibe there? College nigga. How you in? Christine ain't got me there.
No matter your way, from you are the shape. Just give them a shake, make the place vibrate. You set your own pace with your winding waist. You only done up no follower, no time to trace. Every country, every town, every city, every state. Just shut up.
Big up all DJs in the chat. Flames in the chat. How you in?
Bad girl.
Ready? You see? Master Flame Kid. Take a box now. Sing it out now.
Jerusalem, Ikayalami. No.
remix easy. Ready now? Hey, take a walk. Take a walk. From way back, give me a box, give me a box, give me a box, give me a box. Hey. Fun baby, wait. What's the vibe there?
The rhythm of the night. This is the rhythm of my life. My life. Oh yeah. This is the rhythm of the night.
Y'all want to hear the rhythm? This is the rhythm of the remix kids in the building. No lie. If I didn't have that, man, I'd get some mad remixes, but down low for the time there. Check out Bella Master Flame Kid in the building. You know why? Take a bounce now. Bounce. Whoa. Don't mind Panda baby. Let's get that dance. Get dance.
Say girl, are you ready to go down? Take a time, my girl, just slow down. At your back and move in motion. Ladies stay MCJ on a mission. Go down, girl, take it up and take a time and move with caution. Ladies, are you ready for this one? This one come to cause destruction. Alright, now this is the first round. My girl, place your hand on the ground. Sink it in and wait for the next round. When you hear DJ Ado touchdown. Alright, girl, simple instructions. Tell me, are you ready to go down?
DJ Ado touchdown. Watch the gal them get on. The side is her favorite song. She just love fling bum bum left right. The Afro bring out her best side. She go down low on MTJ and she come up back on ADK. Now right left. Boy, it's up. Look at that niceness. The bumper big like a ant's nest. Can grind, kick a wine, impress. Baby sugar, give them flavor. Give them formula. Give them. Inhale Mel. Give them.
Big up time. We like to thank Bashment Inc. for making us come here near the time again. But you know, we're going to get back to the remixes. Flame, can you have a next one for them? You have a next one for them? Don't like the people. Hey. TBSL is made of surprises.
MTJ ready for y'all now, ladies. This I getting now, speed increase. Press gas, gal. Make sure you have the strongest gal. Ensure you can handle the thing now. Billing, bum. Billing, long. Billing,
the second round come now, hunt for the wisdom. So don't mind you, now we moving in this mission. Ladies, something up the wrist. Ladies, on the style and this place. Ladies, just mash up the place. Young ladies, you know all the bridge. Ladies, love tune with this like this one. Come to mash up the place now. Everything nice now, everything.
If you know when they did not COVID, you used to go Friday night and have a little drink in the corner like that. Ready now?
Bien saisonné, bon, moi je ça, est-ce que sonné, fini pour mes inspect, les contacter, si vient la bombe avec tous les ossuaires, now, si vient la bombe avec tous les.
You know the Vien, bro? If the Vien can do that, it's going. Si vous savez, mon flemme qui fait.
Make it clap.
Left, right, your left side is your best side.
left. Mama, look at that niceness. Leap up a big like a ant's nest.
Make it clap, make it clap, make it clap.
Remix, remix. Ready again, ready again.
Make it clap,
Ladies,
make it clap.
no one day now. Who would like left side la, right side la, cock up sa, tic tac sa, Nemo à sous genou. Left side, right side, and allez. Now this hand la plat, 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 plat. Tête vie moute clap, 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 clap.
Just this and
clap,
that.
clap, clap, clap.
If you cannot understand plat, go down, go down. Go down, go down, go down, go down, go down,
Now this hand la clap,
ready
clap,
again.
clap.
It seems Flame Kid dealing for platting right about now there. Flame Kid, you ready to make them go down again?
Lie down, position yourself like pillow. Back it up high like a wheelbarrow. Balamin hot like a armadillo. Now jiggle that thing like jello, 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 jello. Lie down, position like pillow. Back it up high like a wheelbarrow. Balamin hot like a armadillo. Now jiggle that thing like jello, jello, jello. Jiggle sa con jello. When the next I'm all marshmallow. Walk on that 1 kilo. Eat that is 6 kilo. Get that arrow. That down, 1 0. Check 1 0. See more, 2 1 score. Back like 2 yo. Full on less I can score.
You know why? Hey, because DJs just play and I just play and we just all play together. How doing? Play kid now. We still have time? We still have time? We still have time? Hey. So if you're not on a live, make sure talk truth to power tonight. So right now, we're telling everybody inside. Grab your popcorn and sit inside. Grab your popcorn and I tell you inside. Ready now? Ready now?
Chimé, ou pas snack, un bel plat dîner. Low backflip, X-stick, active. Tous les détoches, just qu'à voir la fumée. Macamatine, jamin dîner. Dada ou café roadblock, elle est chimée. Elle était tout pas sous saïko. Dada, ça la incho avec gaïko. Femme, vieux point. Et ça n'a la tête, oui, pas oui. Vieux point. Et ça n'a la tête, oui, pas oui. Ça vous mad, you forgot.
Flame Kid say giving you another reason why we should play on Sunday.
I come to push back and bring my body.
What we making the girl then? They want to come and play with you.
She has to wet the woman. Back it up on the woman. Back it up on the woman. Back it up on the woman. Now whoa. Back it up on the woman. Back it up on the woman. Back it up on the woman. Now whoa.
Shake it fast, shake it slow. Watch that girl, she is a pro. Bumper song, marshmallow. Hold her head that there like piano. Up and down, girl, let's go. Back it up. Touch your toe. Up and down, girl, let's go. Mission boy, but I'm papi show.
Hey, who let that one touch it wrong? Who let that one turn around? Who let that one touch it wrong? Now whoa.
So who let that one turn around? Yes, who let that one touch it wrong? Who let that one turn around? You ready?
Give him the work now. Give it to him now. Give him the work now. Give him the work now. Give it to him now. Give him the work now. Let's go.
encore. Moi dis girlfriend give me mes pouilles, girlfriend give me mes pouilles encore. Moi dis femme sortir encore. Il dit moi c'est moi qui le non. Il dit moi n'a fait encore. I never pass back door before. Sultan go, c'est moi qui go. C'est moi qui sit, other people.
So by Cousette, by Lame, by Zoé, tu es allé. Où ça je qui prit à palais, et où ça je batte pour aller. Donkey Kong, jump around. If you can, cooking bun, you can make the bun assistant. I say sit on it like Tarzan.
Jiggle now.
You know the girl them keep it rolling like who the attire. Who your fire? There's a brown girl in the ring. La 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 la. There's a white girl in the ring. La 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 la. There's a black girl in the ring. La 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 la. And we know what they like to do. She like to wine.
Next man, what we eating? What we eating? My partner doesn't eat seafood. Don't look at him.
Octopus in the pumpkin. Octopus in the pumpkin. Octopus in the pumpkin. I love that nice something. Octopus in the pumpkin. Octopus in the pumpkin. Octopus in the pumpkin.
But for the time they were eating, hey, dumpling in the box. Dumpling in the wall.
Chatou a jamou. Sani bobu medu chatou a jamou. Chatou a jamou. Chatou a jamou. Sani bogu. Vemo chagugwa. Majeya taboka. Majeya chobaja. Oji adamapa. Mete mwen ansa. Lave lang mwen ansa. Anye pasa teste sa. Maje anyway people sa we do now. Chatou.
Well, they say we have 5 minutes. 5 minutes? How long? 5 minutes? 3. Okay. Flame Kid, let's show them what Team Intel is gonna run. Ready now?
Lucia, Trinidad, Dominica, 20, Valid, just try. Carrot now, Japan, Pardon, killer. Everybody! When I go party, wine and somebody, big bum bum, small bum bum, one if no panty. They want to teeth for wine, so go down on one side. Roll the bum bum, stick the bum bum, make it go all white. Now even though you take the vaccine, you still go in quarantine. From time you give that wine gas, something spreading. They say it's COVID-19. Now look, people dying.
Listen to the protocol.
No more skin, my girl, you what like the pandemic. Doctor, 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 what like the pandemic. What like the pandemic. What like the pandemic. What like the
Juve. We can have Juve on UTV. Juve. 1, 2, 3. Working. If you all know that song, we give yourself, hey, Juve morning, we coming now. We have a piece of iron and a
Somebody call my mother for me. 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 Call me my head. Call my mother for me.
We can't do that for you. You home already. We can't do that for you.
My head bad. My head
Put some flames in the chat. If y'all missed the time this year, that was great. Some people know it, some people don't want to remember it. Hey, I tell you, let's give them a respectful.
Since the time I looking for Kitty, where Kitty, where my what? If it what? Billy shot, I not know him where Kitty hiding when he does it all the snacks. Give me Kitty brown and black. Watch out Kitty getting thick and watch out Kitty getting follow Kitty. Where my cat? Hello Kitty, where my cat?
As we get ready for Talk Truth to Power,
where my cat? Hello Kitty, where my cat?
We like to say a very thank you to everybody that watching live
tonight.
Where my cat?
Where my cat?
Big up yourself.
Kitty Fitty, looking fat, post a pic, send a snap. What a Kitty?
Let me show them how to myself.
Show your cat, touche Kitty, pige shot. Me say Kitty, me say shot. Look that Kitty, look that cat, look that Kitty.
Oh, get in there. Get ready, 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 get ready. For some knowledge, get to chop on your left. So everybody, have a seat, have a seat, have a seat. As we get ready for Talk Truth to Power. Thank you, it's been a pleasure. Team SL, DJ SL, DJ Flame Kid. DJ Flame Kid, Panda Baby X in the back. Thank you as we sign out for your main show, Talk Truth to Power. Yeah.
What are the long-term effects of the COVID-19 virus? The long-term effects of the COVID-19 virus include symptoms which can be from what we call long haulers, and these may occur in patients who may have been asymptomatic or who have had mild infection. And those patients would have chronic cough, body pain, severe headaches, which continue for a long time. From a cardiac standpoint, from a heart standpoint, those patients have been shown to have fibrous tissue form in the heart, which makes the heart not contract as well, which makes the heart prone to infection, which makes the heart prone to become large, and makes those patients prone to go into heart failure and have abnormal heartbeats. From a chest point of view, those patients who have had COVID infections are more prone to have pneumonias. From a brain point of view, those patients who have had COVID infection are more prone to have strokes and epilepsy. From what we call a vascular point of view, those patients have been shown to have diminished blood flow in various parts of the body because of the interaction of the COVID virus with the body. It means that men are more prone to have erectile dysfunction. In other words, men may have difficulty in the presence of a female of being able to perform properly. There are other points which we need to look at, and that includes psychiatric. In other words, what we have found is that people are more prone to anxiety and more prone to depression. These are just some of the challenges which persons face when they have been infected, even in mild and asymptomatic cases with the COVID virus. This is why we encourage everyone to get vaccinated as soon as possible so as to decrease the tendency for these challenges to occur.
This is a message from the St. Lucia Medical and Dental Association.
Did you get the COVID-19 vaccine? Then you may experience one or a combination of side effects, or even no side effects at all. Side effects may include pain or tenderness in the area where you got the vaccine. You may also notice a little swelling or redness. To manage these, you may apply a clean, cool, wet washcloth or an ice pack over the area. Throughout your body, you may feel chills, fever, nausea, joint pain, tiredness, headache, or muscle pain. To manage this discomfort, you should get plenty of rest. Drink fluids, but avoid alcohol and caffeine. If you need to manage pain, you may take paracetamol, not aspirin. You may continue to take all medications prescribed for you for your health condition. Vaccinate. For you, for yours, for us. Did you get the COVID-19 vaccine? Then you may experience one or a combination of side effects, or even no side effects at all. Side effects may include pain or tenderness in the area where you got the vaccine. You may also notice a little swelling or redness. To manage these, you may apply a clean, cool, wet washcloth or an ice pack over the area. Throughout your body, you may feel chills, fever, nausea, joint pain, tiredness, headache, or muscle pain. To manage this discomfort, you should get plenty of rest. Drink fluids, but avoid alcohol and caffeine. If you need to manage pain, you may take paracetamol, not aspirin. You may continue to take all medications prescribed for you for your health condition. Vaccinate. For you, for yours, for us.
Vital is the #1 selection for your vegan and alkaline cuisine. Our menu includes the natural indigenous St. Lucian foods through meals, handmade vegan roti shells, spelt and vegan naan bread served daily. We are open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. and are located at Riverside Road, Castries. And we deliver within the Castries and Grosile area and do catering as well. So call and place your order today at 452-4825.
Available at Red Dot in Grosile and Susie's Varieties in Bois de Wange and Vieux-Fort.
Protocols for international visitors while in St. Lucia. The following protocols are established to guide the stay of all guests while on island in order to mitigate any possible spread of infection. During the first 14 days, visitors are allowed to patronize approved beaches, restaurant, sea and land excursions, and sites and attractions. All visits are scheduled and pre-arranged by their respective accommodation providers. During this period, all visitors will be transported to and from the certified sites using only COVID-19 certified tourism transportation. After the first 14 days, if any visitor wishes to stay on island beyond the 14-day period, they must apply for and receive a health clearance certificate from the Ministry of Health. Visitors will be allowed to travel, be out in the wider public and patronize local businesses unsupervised once health clearance certificates have been received. During their entire stay, visitors must wear their masks whenever they are in public places and maintain the mandatory 6 feet distancing from others.
UTV.
I know you
got it. If you identify with the most pulsating, the most riveting, the most eye-capturing UTV. To advertise with UTV, dial 484-7588 or 572-7588. For some of the most competitive rates, amazing programming, and bang for your buck. The most popular streaming channel, UTV 124 on Facebook. Get it now. Check us out on Instagram at UTV 124. Email us utvslu@gmail.com. UTV. It's not just for me. It's definitely TV for you.
Fisher Fox Palace, patient Eddie Mercury say Buddha, and any wonder Fuji Mercury superior, lasts longer and even faster. Mercury see Pro 75, 90, 150, 150 horsepower. Please no warranty on the market and the price is right for your pocket. A gentleman they will make me use my vocabulary. Mercury's performance, durability, fuel efficiency, especially Mercury give plibo puyo. Machine Mercury says Cipro. Machine Mercury come in on clean way, please it. Let me show them on your Machine Mercury travail bali. Moi v'là ou koute sa idi.
Avant moun te gade Mercury c'est bonda, actuellement Mercury qui met bonda.
Maman, machine ça ou ça paye gaz, mais ou pas capiller gaz. Mercury Cipro est distribué par Island Marine Supplies Rodney Bay Marina. Pour plus d'informations, puis 460-9879.
We can win this war. Get vaccinated. We're taking our life back. Get vaccinated.
People who are hesitant about taking a vaccine, my advice to you would be to first get information, and credible information. Do as much research as you can to educate yourself about the vaccine, so any problems or any issues you have about it or with it, you would be able to put it to rest. Also, speak to a professional, see a doctor, someone from the Ministry of Health. They would better be able to allay your fears or ease your worries on taking the vaccine. Now that I'm vaccinated fully, my 2 weeks expired with my second dose, I am really looking forward to things getting back the way they used to. Also, Carnival. I'm looking forward to having the line again.
Get vaccinated.
This message is brought to you by the Bureau of Health Education of the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Is there an age limit for taking the vaccine? Yes. There is an age limit for taking the vaccine. The vaccine is not yet approved for under 18. The reason for this is that initial trials did not include persons under 18. This is standard. There is no reason to believe that the vaccine will not be safe in this age group, and trials are now being done. However, we will not be able to vaccinate under 18s until the trials have been done and prove certainly that it is safe. There was some controversy for over 65s, and the reason for this is that it happened that there were not many subjects in the trials who were over 65. So initially, we were a little unsure. In that group, there were no problems, and the general group had no problems, making it seem that there would be no problem in that age group. However, we now know, as the vaccines have been rolled out, that this group is responding well and is safe. So the vaccine can be given to over 65s. So in short, the vaccine is safe for all persons over the age of 18.
This is a message from the St. Lucia Medical and Dental Association.
Gang! Yo, Kuya in the building representing for UTV. Hold up! Freeze! This is the Bumper Police. Yo, big up Underground TV. Gang!
Hey, girl. What's your name? What's your name? Hey,
you're in a good mood.
Girl, if I tell you, I just pre-registered for the COVID vaccine. Hey, but yes.
Supporting you in getting vaccinated is important to us at the Ministry of Health. By selecting one of the options for pre-registering, it helps us to be better prepared and more efficient at managing your demand for vaccination. There are 3 ways to pre-register for your COVID-19 vaccine. 1. Go online by visiting https://hmi.govt.lc/. 2. Contact your closest wellness center. Or 3. Contact your private physician. When we get vaccinated, we don't only protect our health, we are taking action that benefits the health of our entire nation. Vaccinate for you, for yours, for us. A message brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Hi, I'm Jim Joseph, President of the Boseju Community Group. We believe St. Lucia can win the war against the coronavirus and his health. Every community in St. Lucia must mobilize, coordinate, monitor and support residents the way we would before, during and after a natural disaster. Identify volunteers in your community, assign them roles and deploy them. Ensure your elderly and vulnerable understand all protocols. Help relatives, shield them from unnecessary contact with others. Identify those recently unemployed and vulnerable neighbors living alone. Put systems in place to filter updates from official sources throughout your community. Promote the hotline number 311. If it takes a village to raise a child, then all of us can come together to defend the village against the coronavirus. Let's do it.
Together let us win this war. Said we shall be a soldier. Together we can beat this corona.
We at war with a virus, ready to harm us. Panic is not the answer. We can win this together.
Often use hand sanitizer, better yet use soap and water.
We must protect each other if we are to beat this corona.
Together let us win this war. Be a soldier for St. Lucia. Together let us win this war. Be a soldier, together we can beat this corona.
So you don't become the next case. Avoid touching your face. I'm sure you've been told so. Handshakes and hugging are a no.
Advice, give you the please. Cover your mouth and your nose if you cough or sneeze.
Practice social distancing and avoid large social gatherings.
Together let us win this war. Be a soldier for St. Lucia. Together let us win this war. St. Lucia, be a soldier. Together we can beat this corona.
For further information, please contact the hotline at 311 or the Bureau of Health Education at 468-5349.
Good night, and welcome Solution to Talk to Power. TDP. I'm your host, Jono, alongside Muspas. Yes. And tonight we have a very important guest, and we will not waste much time but to introduce our guest. And he came from a busy schedule that he had, and he was having his time. So we want to all say good night and welcome Prince Kailash. And it's a privilege to have one like you in our midst. We thank you so much for coming, and we look forward to having a wonderful discourse with you on the program. Baspas, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, man, it's a privilege again to have, especially in what's taking place right now there, to have Prince Kailash gracing us with his essence right now there. So give thanks, Honorable, for making time from your busy schedule and to be here with our people, because we know right now there are a lot of people from on our platform there want to know about herbs and different things like that. So we give thanks for you being in our presence right now there. Yeah.
Thanks, Honorable.
Yes, King.
So before we go into the topic, as normal, we have our shout outs.
Yes.
So, Muspas, who you have on your radar?
You know already, we like to big up our sponsors, Brother Aaron, and Brother Aaron had to shut down a few days because one of his workers, family, one of their close family passed away.
Right.
So they had closed down the business for a few days there. So more strength to them still.
Yes.
Going through that there. We have Brother Aaron and his wife, so bless them up.
Linda's Bar,
yeah, you know that. Ital Vital.
Yes.
Or our next sponsor, Large Up. Ital Vital, imagine they closed down for this strong also too.
Wow.
Yes, but I feel they're just taking a rest, so rejuvenate and thing. IBZ, large up yourself.
Empress IBZ, big up.
Yes, Health Nuts, large up yourself. Lisa Goodman, large up yourself. Brother Nicholas, large up yourself. We have our people from Mac, Andrea, and her husband from Rich and Mac from Richford Dennery. Yeah, and also they came along sponsoring us too.
Big respect for that.
Yes, man. So
thank
give
you so
thanks
much
for Mac and Andrea. Yeah, man. And one of large birthday, Heavy D, Brother Dove, Dave, large up yourself, Miss Dubois, large up yourself, Miss Saint Rose, Ruby, large up yourself, and the list can go on. You know our list.
I also want to send a big shout out to Brother Greg and Herman. They said, Jonas, tonight, please, if you can send a big shout out to us. I said, no problem, I'll do that.
Positive. You know, Bridget, large up yourself, that's Petra.
Yes.
She told me you by there today.
Yes, of course, because the whole market vendor fraternity, those that cook the food, to those that sell the food. It's a privilege every morning that I walk through and have a talk with them. So, Brother Michael, Brenda, Petra, Celine, Bar, the whole, everybody. Auntie, thank you all for being there for us too.
Yeah, man.
All right, so we have the time a little scarce, but we will go straight into the topic. Before I go, as always, we're just gonna read a psalm for those of you who believe in your Bible. We're just gonna chant a psalm. Of course, chant a psalm a day keeps the Satan away, as they say. Psalms 125. I just open up the book and then my spirit just tell me go to Psalms 125. Listen to the words spoken by King David. They that trust in Yahweh are as Mount Zion, which cannot be moved, but remains forever. As the mountains are all around Jerusalem, so Yah is all around his people, from this time forth and even forevermore. The scepter of wickedness shall not rest upon the lot of the righteous. Do good, O Yah, to those that are good, and to them that are upright in their hearts. But for such as turn aside to crooked ways, Yahweh will lead them forth with the workers of iniquity. So this is the words, peace be upon Jerusalem and Israel. So these words we leave with you as we go into tonight's topic. Tonight's topic is very important and interesting, especially with the whole pandemic and the corona thing going on right now. Listen to the topic closely. Natural immunity versus enhanced or synthetic immunity. Priskilash will explain to us as to which one eventually will stand predominant. The natural immunity or the enhanced or synthetic immunity or vaccinated immunity. So with that topic, we will then bring in the priest as he explains to us natural immunity versus enhanced immunity. Priest Kailash, again.
Just rest my...
No, take your time and do what you have to do.
Give thanks, blessed. Yes. Well, give thanks for the invite, my brother, and give thanks for everything. Yes, Rastafari. I mean, definitely, as we know that the immune system is what we would refer to as the defense system of the physical structure, which is basically what you call like your police and your soldiers and your army. So your immune system is not just like some invisible kind of force. It is basically systems, cells put into specific positions. From birth you have what you call innate immunity. So when a child is born with what you call the innate immune system. That is what is the God-given immune system. So they're born with that. But yet still, immediately after birth, the child does not really have that capacity to actually defend itself, that baby, fully. That's why they must take the breast milk. And they get particular what you call immunoglobulins or particular proteins that they get to help to boost up the immune system. And as that child grows and they interact with the environment, that means they get a little dirt, they get a little bacteria, a little virus, they get little parasites. the immune system, they get a flu, they get all whatever they get. The immune system has that capacity to actually create what we refer to as antibodies, create a defense system to actually defend itself against these particular type of diseases. So the immune system is also responsible for destroying cells within your physical structure that goes awry. That means that they mutate. So if you have a cancer cell that will be dividing infinitely, your immune system could actually destroy it. If it is you have a foreign material that comes into your physical structure, so you have cells, you have particular cells that their responsibility is to eat up other things. I'm talking about microscopically, you know.
Right.
So the same way that you would have, okay, if a foreign entity comes into the physical structure, so you have a cell called a macrophage that comes and that eats it up. So when we look at the whole aspect of COVID-19, right, it is important to understand that you're talking about the COVID-19 is basically the disease. You know, it is caused by a virus called the SARS-CoV-2 virus, which basically is a particular virus that is what you call an RNA virus. Now, an RNA virus is different than a DNA virus. An RNA virus, okay, you know what DNA is, right?
Right. This is what you were born with from creation.
Well, DNA is like your blueprint.
Right.
Okay, so
from creation.
So DNA is like the blueprint that says how tall you are, how big you are.
Your whole map.
Your whole architectural design.
Right.
So it's double. They say it's double helix. It's like two separate chains, two separate lines tangled together, you know, to give you your DNA. Now, every DNA, so your DNA might have the information probably to actually, let's say, produce saliva. Now, for your physical structure to produce saliva, what will happen is that that little direction to produce the saliva has to come out of your DNA, then your cells now produce the saliva, and then you secrete the saliva.
Right.
So the way that the DNA is able to tell the cell to produce saliva is in the form of RNA. So RNA is what you call ribonucleic acid, while DNA is deoxyribonucleic acid. So when you have the RNA now, the RNA, you have messenger RNA. So you have that little plan there that says, okay, build a house there and put the window there and put that. Then you have that particular messenger that comes and says, that is where you have to put the window. So let's build the window. So okay, let's build the door. Let's put the ceiling, let's put the bulbs. So the DNA is the master plan, and yet still you have the RNA, which is the ribonucleic acid, that is actually copied from the DNA, and then it goes out of the nucleus into what you call a cytoplasm, which is the outside of the cell, outside of the nucleus of the cell, and then now it can produce your saliva or your insulin or whatever it is that your physical structure needs to actually produce. So the SARS-CoV-2 is an RNA virus.
Right.
That means that it's not in a shape where it is a double helix. No, it's just like a particular base sequence. That's why it's so easy to actually destroy it. You could wash your hand and then you destroy it, or a little bit of alcohol could just kill it. You know, so it is a sequence. It's not alive. You know, it's not something that's alive that could walk and come after you. No, it is just basically a particular instruction within a sequence of nucleotides, what they call, okay, let's say proteins, a sequence of proteins that could tell your cells now, produce this. All right? So when your physical structure is exposed to that virus, it comes in contact with your physical structure. What happens is that it infiltrates the cell. So let's imagine like you have an egg, right? You see, if you break an egg,
the egg
right? So you have the white of the egg, and then you have the yolk of the egg.
Correct.
Right? So the white of the egg would be like your cytoplasm, right? And the yolk of the egg would be like your nucleus. So the nucleus of every cell is the center of the cell. So what the virus has to do now, it enters through the cell membrane microscopically, goes through the cytoplasm into the nucleus. Right, so goes through the white of the egg and goes into the yellow of the egg. Very important. And then within that now, it fits, it's an RNA virus, right? It gives that instructions to your physical structure to basically now what to do? To produce that particular protein. So you're talking about, for the coronavirus, you have what you call the spike protein.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
So then So you understand? So just like if you're making saliva, you have your deoxyribonucleic acid, the blueprint that contains every single thing, how to make saliva, how to make insulin, how to make amylase, how to make propane, whatever it is, how to make a finger, how to make a foot, how to make a nose, how to whatever. But that sequence that is there to produce saliva, to be produced, it have to be taken out in the form of what you call a messenger RNA, mRNA. So that's how you'd have the mRNA vaccine.
That's right.
Okay, so if you don't understand that, you don't know about no vaccine.
Wow, that's your crash course right there.
Right, so if you don't understand nothing about DNA and RNA and none of these things and understand what role they play in the physical structure, there is no way that you would ever be able to understand what the Pfizer vaccine is, or what the Moderna vaccine is, or what the AstraZeneca is.
Let me ask you a quick question. Which of the vaccines is DNA or RNA?
Well, the Oxford AstraZeneca is basically, it's more like a, it's what they do, they take like the chimpanzee adenovirus, which is basically a virus, okay, and then they extract it's an adenovirus that gives people flu-like symptoms, and then they will remove particular gene sequences, particular instructions, and then they insert the instructions of the COVID, the SARS-CoV-2, into the adenovirus, and then they infect you with the adenovirus.
Wow.
So that adenovirus is like a vector, right? So it transfers the genetic information of the SARS-CoV-2 into your cells to make your cells produce the spike proteins, whereby the mRNA vaccine is basically the RNA sequence, that message that says, okay, produce this protein, and produce it, right? But what they do, they have actually enclosed it with what you will refer to a bio nanoparticle, right? So nanoparticles meaning that it is so small, it's not microscopic. I mean, it's so tiny, microscopic. So they create a synthetic membrane, a cell membrane that could actually engulf the instructions, the RNA of the virus, so it can penetrate through the egg white and then go to the yolk, and then your body produce the spike proteins, right? So it is, if you understand that sequence, then you could understand exactly what is taking place within your.
So from my humble understanding is, for some reason they have tricked or they have found a way to deceive or I'm trying to find the right word to say, because on its own that virus that would not enter our bodies on its own. That coronavirus on its own wouldn't, unless they put it through what you say there to trick.
Well, it does. I mean, that's why people do get COVID-19. I don't deny that there is a virus. I mean, there is a virus. And as you would know, the virus is a virus that even when you look at the Senate hearings in America, you understand that the virus have gone through what you call gain of function experimentation. So even
what that means there with Dr. Fauci?
That means that what they did, the research was to actually make the virus more virulent, meaning that it could be more contagious. All right, so that is what the Republicans are trying to get Fauci. I know it's politics and all these things there, but they say Fauci, Dr. Fauci was responsible for funding, right, research in Wuhan province in China that was responsible for increasing the virulence, gain of function research that increased the virulence of the coronavirus. And they say, well, it escaped the lab and then it's out there. So a virus do exist. There are plenty of viruses, plenty of different sequences that's out there that could enter into your cell and then could create. So the coronavirus, it exists. So at the end of the day, there is a sickness that your system is going to get. You are going to be exposed to this virus that is going to finally, without any vaccine or whatever, right?
Naturally, it would
naturally occurring, like the flu virus. If somebody come and blow their nose in your face and they have the flu,
naturally you
get it, right? Why? Because it's a contagious disease. So the virus would literally go through that passage of your nostrils and will infect you, all right, and cause the production of the spike proteins. That's why you know your immune system whether or not it's
working on good. But what we see that with a natural immunity or your natural immune system, for years, priests, that immune system have been fighting various types of virus. Yes, naturally. What makes the coronavirus so dangerous? Is it because man have, through the gain of function, tampered with it, or is it what has made it so dangerous right now? The coronavirus.
Well, I don't see it as something that it's not me that see it as something that's dangerous. You know, I mean, you have to follow the science, right? The science is that okay, let's just say, okay, the science is that, let's just say 1%, but the science is 0.01%, which is 1 out of every 1,000 people mortality rate. But let's just say 1% mortality rate, 1 out of every 100. Let's just say that.
Yes, yeah.
Right? But you are realistically looking at 1 out of every 1,000 people dies when they get the coronavirus. And then out of every person that dies from it, 80% of these people, they have underlying conditions.
Correct.
So that means that in truth and in fact, if you have, let's say, 500 people that get the coronavirus, let's say out of every 100, if one dies, 5 people who die. And out of the 5 that die, if 80% of them are people with underlying, like diabetes, high blood pressure, asthma,
cancer,
COPD, cancer, 4 of them would be dying from underlying conditions, and only 1 of them would be dying from the virus. So it is not something that, for me, when I look at the science of it, I don't see that it is something that that the whole world is supposed to lock down over. You know, I would basically see it as something that, you know, shows us that, look, we have to pay more attention to our non-communicable chronic illnesses, like obesity, like heart disease, like high blood pressure.
So correct, so true.
So that's it, because that's the people that die when they get the coronavirus, the people with underlying conditions,
as opposed to those who are healthy.
Yeah.
And so because at one time people were dying with corona as opposed to from corona. You understood that at one time, even the medical people were saying they died with COVID related, or from different ailments that they already had, and COVID was just part of it. But today you're hearing on the news that people are dying directly from COVID.
COVID death.
COVID death. Remember before it was COVID related?
COVID related, yeah.
Now it's COVID. So is it that more healthy people are dying from the COVID, or do we still have, as you said, people dying with the underlying?
Well, I mean, you'd have to ask the Dr. King and the pathologist. I don't think Dr. King cuts people's hair anymore. I mean, the other people that cut the people, and probably they would know about that. But as for me, you know, basically, you know, when we look at the whole aspect, when you look at the immune system, you're looking at, first you look at B-cell immunity, which is basically, B-cell immunity would be, well, you are exposed to the virus, then you go through what you call an immune response. When your white blood cells, when they actually see the virus, they actually produce particular what they call proteins that they could place on the outside of your cell that was infected, to actually highlight and say this is an infected cell. And then your B cells, your lymphocytes, would actually produce antibodies that could actually see these cells, what they call antigen presenting cells, APCs, and then destroy that virus. Now, so that is what you call B-cell immunity. That is like a more short-term immunity. Then also you have T-cell immunity. That means that after that aspect of your immune system is gone, but you have T-cell immunity, whereby you have another set of lymphocytes that are actually maturing in your thymus gland, and what they do, they would actually activate other cells to eat up the virus. Then they would also produce what they call natural killer cells, or what they produce memory cells, right, which would actually remember the virus, to the extent that if it comes again 9 months down the line, it says, oh, that virus was there already, and so then it goes back, and then it makes the B cells produce the antibodies, so you always have that replenishment. So it is very important that we understand that fully, that it's not only about when they remember they used to say like it's 90 days. I'm talking about a lifelong immunity. So as long as you have been exposed, and and you're producing antibodies. And according to Dr. King, up to 40% of the people in St. Lucia had of the people that the quantity of people that they actually tested, 40% of them already had antibodies.
Wow.
That was a long time ago. Now, everybody in St. Lucia will get the corona. Every single person.
And saying that means that everybody then will have antibodies naturally.
Well, or those who have it already for the virus. But everyone will get the just like the flu does pass. It's just that you will know whether you have it because your immune system is strong, so you might just be going through it. Your foot might have been itching you, whereby somebody else might get it and they might fall sick because of a weak immune system.
Correct.
So every single person is going to get it. The thing about it is that you don't want to have so many people sick, and probably people with asthma and COPD and people with diabetes and high blood pressure and heart disease, and all these people are sick now and they have to end up in hospital because when they get the corona they cannot breathe, right? Because the system is already compromised.
Correct.
Right. So I think that the strategy, instead of just focusing
on the vaccine,
on the vaccine, which they say the reason why you take, Rastafari don't support vaccination at all. All right. So at the end of the day, I don't vaccine. So COVID vaccine is nothing new about any vaccine to me. We don't
deal with it at all.
Period. It's not that. The world is going through now what Rastafari have been going through for the past 80 years. To get our children into school and they're not vaccinated. We went through these things a lot.
That's true.
So this is like nothing new for us. Right? So at the end of the day, it is just important to know, I as a Rastafari, I don't support vaccination. And if it is that, when I look at the science of it, you take the vaccine, yet still the vaccine don't prevent you from getting the disease. When you get the disease, then you still give it to somebody, and even if you have the vaccine, you still die from the disease. Right? So what sense is it then that you are, because remember, this was approved under EUA, Emergency Use Authorization.
Correct.
And I think the Pfizer one just got full approval, but the bulk of them still under EUA, Emergency Use Authorization. So why is it that you are giving so many people this, and then we know that it's not really gone through the full processes yet, so even recently the National Institute of Health in America had to invest millions in investigating why is it that this virus gives people menstrual problems, irregularities in the menstrual cycle, and you have myocarditis, you have inflammation of the heart, and you have Bell's palsy, and you have plenty of different things. So at the end of the day, why is it that you would mandate something like that and don't just provide people with information? And then at the end of the day also, what you do now, because you are aware that the bulk of the people that die, right, they are dying out of underlying conditions. Let us focus on the underlying conditions. So let's have a run 10 miles Sunday. So you bring everybody that's obese, and go and run,
exercise,
right? So let's have a no meat Wednesdays.
That's right.
So
you have a problem right there.
Let's have a no junk food Thursdays. So at the end of the day, what you're doing, that you are going to be encouraging people to live what you call a healthy lifestyle. And then if it is that you have less diabetics, you have less people dying from COVID. If you have less hypertensive, less people dying from COVID. If you have less people with COPD, less people with asthma, less people dying. Why? Because the main problem is what you would call the underlying condition. So I don't really think that
COVID is as big as they're making it to be.
Well, it's big because it stopped the world. It stopped planes from flying. It's big, and by the end of the day, diabetes is bigger, so diabetes is supposed to stop planes from flying. St. Lucia used to have 2 amputations every single day.
Yeah.
Right? So, what do you say? 67% of every man that gets prostate cancer dies from it. Right? 0.1% of people who get corona die from it. So you're talking about 2 out of every 3 women develops breast cancer. 67% of those that develop it die from it. Okay, so why is it that all these different types of conditions don't stop the planes from flying?
And so therefore, what you lead me to ask you is why so much emphasis and so much pressure being put on us to take the vaccine, one, and also on that corona, if we have other diseases that are killing people faster than the corona. Why is the system, and I say this is the system, I mean everyone who is behind this whole agenda, why are they pushing this agenda so hard if, well and truly, almost 80% of the people who get the corona recovers from it?
More than that, man. I mean, 90-something%, man. Because remember, it's 0.1%.
Wow.
So it's less than 1 out of 100.
So we are making there is so much emphasis on a disease that actually the body recovers from almost 90%?
Yeah, well, over 90%, it's
and that's facts, not that Prince Kailash saying that they have accepted it as a fact. Even in our numbers, we have months past where it says we have almost 10,700 cases, almost 7,500 to 8,000 have recovered nicely, with about 2,000 plus that are active cases. So we are in a pandemic. Based on the numbers that they give us, we're seeing almost 3/4 of the cases have recovered.
Right.
Yet we are being made to panic and go all over the place.
Well, if you understand, the thing also would be that our hospital systems cannot handle, because remember, coronavirus does highlight the inadequacies of the healthcare systems.
Very much so.
So it's not like as if everything happens in a vacuum. It is also important to understand that when 7,000 people have it sometime and 6,000 have to go in hospital and you only have 500 beds, what happened? So it highlights that problem. So the issue is not that people won't get it, it's how many people get it at that particular time. So if it is that so many, because remember, you might get a cough and you might go and drink some sour orange and something, but there are people, when they get a cough, they go to the hospital.
Yeah, just for the
right.
cough.
Yeah, they get a cough, and so then imagine that you have 6,000 people or 7,000 people.
Just for a cough.
And probably a couple of hundreds of them might need a respirator for true, because they have COPD, or they're asthmatic, or they're on dialysis or some type of thing, right? And what happens to the healthcare? What happens to the hospitals?
Let me add that. And next thing I realize, Prince Kailash, a lot of our people, they do stay to natural foods and these things, and most times they even come to people like you. It's almost in their last stages. So they would eat all kind of synthetic foods, all kind of KFC and everything. And when they get illness or something, that's when they would want to come to the bush or something like that. Do you get much of that in your line of work?
Well, at a point in time, we used to focus on a lot of sick people, but I mean, my work is more like prophylactic medicine, preventative medicine. I would more, I do more prophylactic medicine.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I mean, when you down the line and you already go into the sweet by and by, yes, we could help you, but the energy it takes, it is better that energy is actually invested in prophylactic medicine, preventative medicine. So the energy it takes to, yes, you could help to administer care to someone with 4th degree cancer, and they can get healed even, right? But your system not supposed to be based upon that one individual. Is supposed. So what about all the 99? That's all these other people who are healthy and strong, and you want to prevent them from getting to that state, whereby they do have the tumor in the breast, right? So we focus a lot more on prophylactic education, teach people how to boost up the immune system. So, and we don't convince people about the herbs. One thing we never do is try to convince people and use the bush and thing, because the herbs, this is like precious knowledge, I mean, I know you read your Bible when you began. I mean, I know a part of the prophecy states that just now, good word will be like there'll be a famine.
A famine for the wood.
A famine for the wood. So there is a value to know what is Faidouvant, or what is what is Faidouvant, right? You know what Faidouvant is, right? Gully root, you know it. You could identify it. You know how to use it. You know what Vin is. You could use it. You know how to use it. Remember, the world was locked down, and we couldn't get no food, and you couldn't get no masks, and you couldn't get no medicines. You couldn't get anything. The world was locked down until to the point whereby the bullies, like the mafias, were hijacking planes and taking mass countries. Remember, America stopped planes that's delivering mass to France
and take it for themselves.
True. In desperation.
True.
Right. So we now, as a people, if you don't know what bush you have to drink,
True.
right, to uplift yourself,
you'll be in a tight spot. Let me so definitely Prince Kailash, natural immunity. Okay, that means you get the COVID, your body builds the antibodies. How long will your natural immunity last after you get COVID vis-a-vis the enhanced or vaccinated immunity after you get your double shots? Which one?
I mean, we have to look at, if we look at Israel is like the role, because right now 90% of all Israelis is supposed to already be vaccinated.
Correct.
Right. Previously it was about 80%. So I know that probably for the past 2 weeks they should have gotten to that 90% already. I'm saying I could be incorrect. Stand to be corrected. But I know that for sure they were 80%. Now, the Israelis began with 1 dose of the Pfizer, and then 2 doses, and then now they are the third dose. And then the pass is only for 6 months. So they are looking at another 4th dose, 4th booster. It's there. You could read it. Right. So that means that what they're looking at
every 6 months.
Every 6 months you get a vaccine, you get a booster. So then you are only fully vaccinated if your most recent vaccine. So the FDA approved it to a limit, right? The booster dose. Right. They said I think it was only for people over 67.
Correct. Yes.
Right. But Israel is everybody getting their 3rd dose. Right, and they're already talking about the 4th dose. So when it comes to natural immunity, man, as long as you get it, when you get it again, it's not going to be bad as it was before, because you've already been exposed to it, so it is not something that I think it's just limitless, so you just have to know that apart from, you have to be in a state of wellness whereby your physical structure is always strong, right? So there are herbs you could utilize. So somebody's asking, they want a herb vaccine, but the lifestyle is a preventative lifestyle, right? So it's what you eat, because remember that now what you think first, because 70% of your immune system is controlled by your thoughts.
True.
So if it is that you are stressed, or if a dog is chasing you and you're afraid that you're going to get bite, your body won't be focusing on viruses. It will shut down the immune system. It won't be talking about eating food. It will shut down your digestive system. And all the energy will go to your legs and your arms and try to escape. Right? So when you overstand the effects of stress, you're not happy, trauma, abuse, whatever it is, that actually locks down the immune system. Then you also have the aspect of sugar, especially white sugar. White sugar locks down the immune system. Vinegar, like acids, these things basically destroys your white blood cells. So when you understand what the sugars and the sodas and the fried foods and the cheese and the milk and the dairy, all these things they are things that actually suppress the immune system. So definitely then you have to understand, well, look, when you talk about your immune system being able to deal with that, you have to eradicate a lot of things from your diet. You have to also have a very upful spirit. You must always be happy. You must always be calm. Right? Stop stressing. And then you have the herbs that help to boost up the immune system, like your Faidouvant, your Vin Lachewat, right? Your Zebazedri, your Guenabafé, sit on the leaf.
What about Gopopo? Any Gopopo?
Well, Gopopo was used originally by our people for coughs, persistent coughs. Yes. So they used to boil 3 of the tops, 5 of the tops with the juice of 5 sour orange, right? And that used to be very excellent. Sour orange is very rich in vitamin C.
Vitamin C.
Yeah.
You know? So as we can see clearly from what the priest is saying, that our natural immune system, once the corona enters the body, our bodies will create antibodies to fight it. Once that is done, then your T cells and your cells remember it, put it into the memory bank. So anytime that corona comes back again, what about the different, what they call variants? Because now you went from corona, the COVID, to the Delta, I think you have Mu.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing about RNA virus. That's why you cannot get a vaccine for AIDS, because of how it mutates so quickly. Remember, it's not like a DNA thing, everything, like you have one, you have two, they'll be bonded like that together. So that means that nothing can attach to anything there. So there will be a more stable virus. A virus that is just one, when you have that point, all them things there. So if that man come and he just stick there, right, that's a mutation, right? So if that just break off, that's another mutation, right? If that one come out and another piece come and join, that's another mutation. So you have RNA virus always mutate. So it's not new. I mean, every scientist would know that you would have plenty of mutation in RNA virus. That's why it's so difficult to have a vaccine for an RNA virus. That's why the flu vaccine, you have boosters, you have 4 vaccines every year.
So what we're saying here is that COVID-19 vaccine, we will always need to get vaccines
every year.
So but Ms. Kailash, if that's the case, why is our government leaders, our medical practitioners and people like that, the CMO, why are they pushing this agenda, knowing full well that you cannot isolate a virus? 2, the RNA viruses mutate so often. Why are they pushing that the people be vaccinated, and as far as mandatory vaccination, knowing full well what you're saying, that's facts, that you cannot isolate a virus, neither can you create one vaccine that can literally solve all variants. Why is that?
Well, I mean, remember that they can create a virus. So I won't say that a virus cannot be isolated, because remember, it's just base pairs, and if they can, there is what you call nanotechnology. So man is very powerful, very, 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 very powerful. So it's not like you could create. Most of these viruses, they are patented. They are owned by someone. So if it is that, okay, I'm going to produce a remedy okay, we have a remedy for the coronavirus. Okay, if you say I want to test my remedy against the coronavirus, right? If I'm going to do a scientific research, I'm going to have to ask permission to use the coronavirus.
Right now, yes.
Yeah, because it is patented,
And I heard that it was patented by who? We know who, of course.
Well, I don't know.
I'll tell you. I think I heard that because we had a topic on that once. The GMO. Okay, they say that when a human being is born, you are born with as you said, the natural innate immune system, and then you have rights. That immune system cannot be patterned. Your natural immune system cannot be patterned. What the Americans have done, and they knew that, is that if someone interferes with your immune system and they alter it, meaning they put that vaccine into you, you're no longer a natural human being. So then on that basis, you then can be, now you can be patterned, basically. So when Bill Gates and all of these big men understood that, they now are busy trying to get us to get these vaccines, so they already have the pattern. Bill Gates is the one who owns that pattern for the now reformed human being, the GMO human being, the one now who has his immune system vaccinated, can be owned and patterned. that is why I think they're pushing this major agenda to get everybody vaccinated, because the natural human being cannot be patterned. Your immune system cannot be patterned. And that makes a lot of sense.
The first time I'm hearing that one.
And in fact, the pattern.
So you said you never heard about the pattern?
Well, I know about patterns, but I
never saw it in that light.
Well, I never heard that. Well, you know what they call it, the conspiracy theories.
Right.
Right. I never heard it say, well, that they're trying to put the virus to pattern the human being that way. You know?
Think about it, and hear that Bill Gates now has already controlled the pattern, and the pattern number for the reformed or recreated human beings is 060606. You can go into the research, it's right out there. So they know what they're doing. This whole pandemic, or what I call a pandemic, it seems to have some serious dark, shadowy agendas behind it. And it's just about the vaccine. And as a result, we need to take good research. We need to do deeper research and not just jump and take a vaccine as they're asking us to do time and time again. Must pass any question you want to pose to Priscilla on the
Oh, no, what I would love is that
the callers.
You would want to take any calls.
Of course.
Honor?
It's up to you.
Yeah.
Mr. Engineer, you can put up the.
Because I feel in the chat room there are people asking a lot of questions.
Wow.
And yeah,
it's up to you.
Mr. Engineer, you can put up the right, beautiful, and get the callers to. Yeah. I mean, to have Priscilla in our humble abode is it's a wonderful thing, and I think it's callers. Please try your best to call the line, and you can ask Priscilla some of the dying questions you literally have to know more about your immune system, how we can boost it, and of course prevent us from getting the coronavirus. I would like you all to call and pose your question to Priscilla. In the meantime, must pass you.
Yeah, somebody was asking, is apple cider vinegar, is it good?
I don't use no type of vinegar.
Yeah, I heard he said earlier.
Yeah, I think because you said that,
you just sour orange, man. That's better.
Yes.
A sour orange or a rough coat lemon.
Yes.
Sour orange, rough coat lemon. Where apple cider vinegar come from?
Apple cider vinegar.
Try to get vinegar. You could do a vinaigrette when you cook. You could do a vinaigrette by just squeezing a lime.
Yes.
And into your salad dressing.
Right.
It's called a vinaigrette.
I call it vinaigrette.
Yeah. Just that kind of acid flavor. So better you get the citric acid from the sour orange that actually alkalizes the physical structure than the vinegar that's an acid that actually acidifies your physical structure.
Now let me pose that to you, Priscilla. And that happened today. I was speaking to the wife of a doctor in St. Lucia, and she got the COVID. Showed me pictures of herself at Victoria, hooked up to the and she said to me that yes, she got the COVID, yes, she had natural immunity, but then she went ahead and took the Pfizer vaccine. So now she's telling me she's now foolproof because she has a natural immunity plus she has the Pfizer vaccine. Does that make any sense to you?
Well, it's not about whether it makes sense to me. It's if it makes sense to her. So remember, everyone is free, to do whatever they feel to do.
But my question I want to ask is, would you say that now because she has the natural immunity, the natural antibodies? We have a question. We have a caller.
Yeah.
Go ahead, caller. What's
TDP? Good evening to you, caller. You live on Talk Truth to Power.
All I want to say is congratulations for being back on today.
Good night, caller.
It's nice listening to the 3
You can hear?
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear. Yeah.
You can hear, Honor?
Yeah.
Yes. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah. All I am saying is congratulations to be back on. I have been looking forward to hearing and seeing the 3 of you together. You all are doing a great job. I consider you all the three wise men. All right?
Thank you.
Do take one. Goodbye.
Lodge up yourself over there in the CDC.
Hey, babe. Bye.
Yes, okay.
Is there any question? I was asking if there's any question she want to ask the priest.
She just want to give thanks, you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Call us, please. Call us now. You can have a word with Priest Kailash and ask any question that you want to, or based on the corona pandemic and also the virus, the vaccine itself.
Somebody was asking, is oregano oil, can that be any good?
Well, at the end of the day, the oregano oil, I don't know about the essential oil, you know.
Oh,
but we have natural antivirals that grows, you know. So I just recommend more of the things that grows wild here in St. Lucia. Like if you want a potent antiviral, you know, get the feuille du vent, curly root.
Yeah,
okay, so that is the most potent, effective one that you could actually utilize. And then you have the Lafleur, which is basically the elderberry, right? And then you have also the Vevenlachiwat, what they call the blue vervine. And also you have the stinging nettle, which is basically containing more vitamin C than even iron. That's what they call the Zoti or the Zuti. You know, so these are things that grows around us.
True.
You know, and these things there, you don't need to go and buy them anyway.
And you also, I remember a time you had a herbal manual. You still, for the people, you still have that herbal manual?
Yeah.
You can tell the people about it, because I mean, so they can know that to get the herbal manual. So at least if they want to get familiar with most of what you're talking about there.
But you just tell them.
No, like you still have it in, so they can come to Livity.
Yeah, they can get it.
All right, so you know, people, you all can check out Priest Kailash Livity and get the herbal manual for those that don't, to familiarize ourselves
with the herbs.
Yes.
And the truth of the matter is, St. Lucia, whether we want to or not, we have to go back. We have to go back. It's amazing how Lucky Dube, and many of us love Lucky Dube, rest his soul in peace, sang a song, Going Back to My Roots, years ago.
Yes.
Only now to see that we have to literally go back to our roots. Yes. Do we have a caller?
Yeah, positive evening to you.
Good night, caller, welcome.
You're live on Talk Truth to Power.
Yeah, hi, good evening.
Positive evening to you.
Yeah, humans are free.
Yes.
Latch up yourself, humans are
Jason.
free.
Yeah, man, big up yourselves.
Yeah.
And also big up your guest, Priest Kailash.
Blessed and honorable, give thanks.
Yeah, you know, with this whole war taking place, it's interesting to hear your take on the whole divide and conquer aspect, you know, between vaccinated and unvaccinated, because we had a little show a couple of nights before, and we were speaking about it from the point of view of Hitler. You know, Hitler wanted to segregate a certain class of people. You know, he wanted to kill them off. He wanted to use all kinds of eugenics to be able to, you know, destroy these people. And we see a repeat in this whole, you know, thing, because you see that divide and conquer strategy coming again, and you see one class of people, like for example the vaccinated, is almost like they're a superior class right now. And then you have the unvaccinated, who are in the majority, are becoming a second class. And no matter how much you talk, no matter how much facts you bring, you know, these people, like, it's almost robotic for them to repeat and to continue to repeat. Wear a mask, wash your hands, social distance, wear a mask, you know. It's almost like everybody, like I said, is in this robotic. It's almost like a, you know, like Revelation says, Jonas, you know, by the sorcery, all nations will follow.
Yeah.
And we've seen that going on, you know, where they're using, you know, all kinds of, you know, alchemical ways of, you know, making viruses more deadly, more, you know, transmittable, more, you know, all of these things, tampering with these viruses. What's your take on that when it comes from a spiritual standpoint? Because a lot of people don't want to consider that aspect of what is taking place. There's the so-called scientists who most of them don't even believe that there's a creator over them. How do we follow these people as our Lord and Savior? By whatever they're giving us, and they want to just brush aside natural immunity. How do we go forward as a species from that point? Because it's almost like we're going down the suicide train. That's the way I see it.
Well, I believe that we're in a point whereby he that know better do better. I for one is not someone who like to push my beliefs, my personal belief system, because everyone has a personal relationship with their God, and everyone's belief systems that's personal to them. And that is what you call their fundamental human right. So it's a time whereby if you know better, do better. Whereby you have to stand like a Daniel, and stand alone. Be the only person that is in there, and you're standing up and you're holding yourself. When it comes to the whole realms of what people, when you say like a segregation between vaccinated and unvaccinated, I mean the segregation has always been there. It's just a different name.
True.
They have always classed us and divided us in all different type of ways, and so it's not like as if it is for you. If you said that the people who are vaccinated are not vaccinated are of greater numbers, then it is for the people who are not vaccinated to understand what their strengths are, what their powers are. And then there are key principles that I give thanks, to the coronavirus for, right? Even like as as a Bobo Shanti, I don't shake hands, as blessed love, give thanks, that's what I do. I mean, coronavirus forced people to hold a distance.
Right.
A man would have feel bad, See,
Yeah, man, but you're my brethren. I come and heal you. I give you a jam or a shake, and you didn't me. I feel like
where handshakes come from. The Persians are
of course, the handshake for sure.
So we with blessed love, and also I love the fact that the washing of the hands, right? So when I go into the supermarket, I skip the sanitizer, and I go to the sink and I wash my hands because I naturally like washing my hands.
But
so and also social distancing. That's great. The fact that you see, people need to learn to respect other people's space. And we are, and these are things that we grow up doing. My lord. I mean, you grow up not eating at people's home, laver les mains avant manger. Before you come in the house and go and sleep, take out your shoes, and even wash your feet before you go to bed.
All those principles.
All these principles, we lost that. Now, so when they bring all these things there on us now,
strange. It's like strange unto us.
But these things there are very important lessons in hygiene, personal hygiene.
Can I say that quickly, as you said that day, but the 6 feet apart, the social distancing, what happens when your brother now, who is supposed to be his keeper, falls sick? Should that apply, that the 6 feet apart and social distancing, you should not come to aid your brother?
No man, but look, I'm not 6 feet.
But that's what I'm saying to you. My argument is the same thing.
But I mean, it forces people, because remember, that.
Well, even from a biblical standpoint, Joe knows, I think it is in Leviticus, whereby if somebody had a plague or the person had some kind
leprosy,
of abnormal, exactly, there was social distancing.
Of course,
they used to keep them away for 7 days. The doctor have to come and see them. If they don't satisfied with his skin condition or whatever, they give him another 7 days, and they put him away from the camp.
Yes.
So this is actually biblical. We're not saying nothing wrong with that.
New under the sun.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. You see, and the key thing is that it's science. It's not like you have to separate yourself from like the normal like science, like like cells and if I scrape that and I put it underneath a microscope, I'm going to see this particular type of cells. There's a science that I spent years at school learning, that I see with my eyes and I understand with my own intelligence, right? And we cannot neglect that science. We have to just utilize that science in a manner that is for our benefit.
Can I ask you a question, Priscilla?
Yes.
Would you consider people who don't want to take the vaccine unscientific?
But the greatest percentage of people who are vaccine hesitant are the PhDs.
Yes, it's true. It's true.
So, I don't know what.
Yeah, well, you see, they tend to. I don't know if you notice, Priscilla, but a lot of the talk show hosts, you know, sometimes, most times, almost always come down condescendingly on unvaccinated.
True.
So they call us COVIDiot, they call us conspiracy theorists to break down, you know, make people think that we're
remember, Rastafari said ITAL, and they used to ridicule, you know, everyone is vegan and alkaline. Rastafari said natural living, now everyone is ecologically sustainable living. Rastafari said marijuana, and they were shot for it. Right now marijuana is decriminalized.
Yes, that's the truth.
Rastafari said no to vaccines, long time, right? And now everybody joining the bandwagon. They don't want that.
And not only that, I know people, generations of people who haven't taken vaccines because of that, and nothing wrong with them.
So
you know, they're surviving just like everybody else.
In fact, they are less likely to fall sick to many of those diseases that we have because their immune system is so robust and strong.
But listen, this thing goes so far for me because I purchased a book when my daughter was born, and it spoke about vaccinated versus unvaccinated children. And basically, it actually told you that unvaccinated children, they fall sick less, they recover a lot faster. Everything is different. You know, and with the vaccinated, they're more sickly, they have a lot of allergies, they have, you know, a lot of things develop in these children because you damage them at such a young, tender age, you know. And that is what I'm seeing, is that we're trying to save lives, but we're killing other people in the process. We're shutting down economies, we're killing businesses, giving people stress. No wonder people died, because everybody's stressed out. For the past 2 years, everybody has been stressed out. But they're not taking that into consideration, the fear mongering, the way they're spreading, the way they're using the data. They're not telling you that the majority of people that getting it recovering. You know, it's only a small minority, like you said earlier. Those are the ones that, you know, have problems, whether obesity, diabetes, heart problems, you know, people that do take care of themselves. Which COVID showed that we are very sick people worldwide.
Oh, yes.
You know?
Yeah, because remember, you know, people are dying, you know. You know, there are people, and what the coronavirus did also, it really exposed the disparity of healthcare in, let's say, in America, in the ghettos, in New York, and then in Manhattan and them places.
That's what it does.
Right, so it exposed that the places whereby the healthcare situation was abysmal, people die. And also whereby the diet of the people were just McDonald's and KFC and Burger Kings and fast food. You know, so it is important that, you know, and as I say, yeah, know better, do better, you know, and I'm more like, you know, pessimist. I'm not a pessimistic man, I'm more like an optimistic man. You know, in times of difficulty, I would say let us look for solutions. So as you said a while ago there, people just highlight and give the fear mongering. So what you
bring joy.
You bring joy.
Bring joy, full joy.
You know, full joy.
And that's why they say Jonas is a happy kind of zest person. I love joy. I love happiness. So you tell me lockdown, 24 hours lockdown, I have a problem, because how can I try to be joyful when all you try to do is lock me down, you know, shut me up, keep me oppressed.
But you're not locked down, you're not locked down.
Yeah, but you know me already.
But you cannot say that. Okay, look at that, right? Okay, for me, right now, putting everything aside, right? Know, for me, you know, I used to travel 2 times a month.
Overseas?
Yeah, overseas, go in and out of St. Lucia.
Yeah, that's true. Of course, you're on a vogue.
Yeah, so the coronavirus
locked you down now.
It didn't lock me down, man. It afforded me an opportunity to be with my family more, right, and make me utilize my intelligence to create a different business model. You know, so
now, let me just interject there. Humans
good,
are
man.
free. I'm not sure if you're familiar with us, but we're a little group that formed because of this whole corona thing. And right now, a lot of people are talking about coming together. You know, a community like, you know, buying land, acres of land, starting our own off-grid agriculture, self-sustenance, you know.
Well, I have that already.
We know that.
I'm fully off-grid.
Yeah. We know that now. You know, for us, for example, this is something new to us because we behind time. You know, because of your way of life, you are at that point where you independent. But a lot of us are making our exodus out
when I heard of in 2019, right? When I heard of the coronavirus, right? Mm-hmm. In 2019, what I did is that, right? I closed my restaurant, you know, a whole like 3 weeks, almost a whole month before the country locked down, you know, because I'm a scientist, right? So when I listen to the news of what they say and how the virus does spread exponentially, and what the mortality rate was, right? I literally closed down my space, and while everybody was shopping and rushing and shopping, I already had bought bulk for months already, just because I was just looking and seeing, but wait, if that thing is that bad, then okay, we'll have to shut down. So my gates were closed, and you know, everything, and who was close to me were actually in already. And it is after critically analyzing, right, the reality of the virus, how virulent it was and how it spread and everything, that's when I say, but wait, I began to analyze it. But because I'm a scientist, I will act based upon information, but I will analyze information critically. That's why in everything that we are doing, that we must understand that there is a virus, okay, and that
whether it's man-made or natural,
whatever, there is a virus, okay. And number two is that the hospital system can get overwhelmed. Trust me.
It is already.
You can have so many people with diabetes that fill up the beds that people with diabetes going to fall sick and they're gonna die.
True.
Right. So
cancer, all of these things.
Yeah. So there's those with cancer, those with COPD, those with asthma, those with coronary artery disease.
Exactly.
That's facts. You know. So there is also that responsibility, right, to understand that you have what you call a communicable disease. That means that if you sneeze in somebody's face, you can give the person the disease, right? Or if you dig your nose and then you go and jam the man, or you go and shake the man's hand, and the man then go and scratch his face, you can give the person that disease. So you must always bear that in your mind and be responsible to know, well, look, there are people who would not be able, they'll get the flu and they'll die.
And it used to kill people before. Nobody made a big fuss
flu still kill more people than the coronavirus, even as they like today. So at the end of the day, right? So it's not just go up into the air into like conspiracy theories and all them things. That there are some realities on the ground that happens
that we have to face and accept.
We have to face and accept. So then that is when it comes to like self-responsibility. All right. So then, okay, get up in the morning, exercise instead of drinking a Milo. Or drink a little soursop tea. Drink a Veven tea. You know, I won't even tell you drink a cocoa tea. I will tell you cleanse yourself first. Drink a soursop. Drink your thing. Look at l'orangeette. Right? Nothing too rich, because you just detoxifying yourself because you've been eating rich things all the time. So every morning
even just squeezing lemon in water, room temperature water.
Yeah, all these things there. So people have to be responsible. So I won't tell people go out there and jump and party. I won't tell nobody that.
But you see, the thing is, Priscilla, a lot of us can get very much misrepresented when we decide we don't want to take the vaccine, because they commonly think that we are stupid people and we don't take care of ourselves, we don't read labels, you know, and we don't want to take this poison, but we take other poisons. But there are people who are very careful how they treat their body. This is their temple. You understand? And a lot of people don't want to have respect to that, to the point where they want to mandate. You understand where I'm coming from? And this is where we're going. This is where we're at. We're just beating around the bush and polishing it in different words.
I believe underneath this government, I think they will have no choice but to go down that road and implement mandatory vaccination. I see it coming. You see it coming. Prince Kailash, what's your take on forced vaccination?
Anyway, guys, they have other people, so
yes.
But very nice speaking, Prince Kailash.
Yes, my brother.
We need to link up. Joe knows, all of us. We need to link up because a lot of us trying to, give a different side to this, and we only hearing one side. This is not scientific for us to only hear one side of the story.
You have to have both sides and have wonderful debates on it. And
yes, critical thinking. You understand what they call informed consent.
Yes.
A lot of people are not informed. They, based on fear, coercion, all sorts of different kinds of things they do just to allow people to take something they don't want.
And Jason, I have issues with that too. I have issues with people only giving one narrative and nobody else cannot speak.
They're censoring you, They're censoring. Even Andre Paul was trying to censor Prince Kailash when he was trying to say something. He didn't want it to go down.
He only go down that road. So why he didn't want Prince Kailash to go down that road? Maybe Kailash could have opened the people's knowledge to something else.
He did it to Aaron. He did it to Aaron as well. When Aaron was trying to say something, and it made it look like, like they had an agenda. And I'm like, why are you doing this? Why are you censoring? Anyway, blessed love.
Yes.
Yeah. Good night, gentlemen.
What I would say is while people doing that.
Thank you, Jason.
You have to organize, as I say, it's a time for he that knows better
to do better, as you say.
We have a next call on the line. We have a call that been waiting there for the longest.
Okay, all right, bless.
TDP, talk to us, caller. Welcome.
Good night.
Good night, caller.
Holding on, yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead, caller, make a contribution. Thank you so much.
Yes. It's back, sir. Yeah, it's good to see you all back again. It's wonderful. Yes, but yes, I would start by saying I have never believed in doctors, and based on history, I don't trust the science. I never trust the science. Okay? Never. I don't believe in the Bible because I think the Bible is a bunch of bullshit. And based on that's my perspective.
Yes.
Yeah. So what I'm saying, when it comes to making things mandatory, and they say if you don't sneeze, if you sneeze, we live our life on ifs and maybes. By the time you get up in the morning and you go in your vehicle, there's a chance that you start and you make accident. There's a chance that if and maybe in life, we don't get to choose how we live or how long we live. Do that. How can you determine how we live? How could anybody tell us how that tomorrow we take the vaccine, we'll be all right, or make it mandatory? How is that possible?
Yeah, but I mean, nothing possible. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Prince. I was just asking him if he could have.
I mean, nothing possible because remember, you are living in a country that has laws. I mean, you have to be realistic, Anything really possible, brother. So it is. What is it that? Where is your foundation? On what do you stand? So at the end of the day, you said that in St. Lucia they might make it mandatory. I don't think they will ever do that.
Prince, I might challenge you on that.
Well, I mean, if they choose to, that's their prerogative, But I don't see. Nah, man. I mean,
but if you listen to the voices around the Prime Minister, those in the chambers, caller, you still there, right? You hearing the middle clerks, you hearing the people literally saying, and even now, many Lucians are literally asking, they're begging the Prime Minister to make it mandatory. That's.
I mean, I'm saying is this. I mean, Rastafari this is nothing new, for the Rastafari. The people who chose to stand up and hold a principle, what they actually believe in. As I said, long time ago, Rastaman was being run down in the bush and shot down for ganja, and also children couldn't go to school because of vaccine, and if you don't take vaccine, you can't go to school. But in anything mandatory, right, you have what you call exemptions, so even in the US Army, even if they say, well, because remember, it's a whole heap of warmongering, and gossiping, so there are some fundamental human rights that cannot be violated, so at the end of the day, I know for a fact that there are soldiers in the U.S. Army
and not taking the vaccine
that have gotten religious exemption. You know, so they won't take the vaccine because they have there was a chaplain here with us, a brethren here with us, that was actually, while he was in St. Lucia, he was writing letters for nurses, for university teachers and students for exemptions from not taking the vaccine. So I mean, there will be all type of talk and thing, but I mean, if you really know yourself and you understand your fundamental rights, you know that you know, and if it means that you have to be willing so much that if it means that now is the time to separate from the system, then you say
straight.
You know, so
come out of my people. If not, run down Babylon, move out of Babylon.
I'm not stressed about that at all.
No, but you see, Kailash, but for you, you've prepared. They say Maneo fe kabano, se Maneo kaidomi. You've been one step ahead of the system. So you, Kailash, almost like prepared to a point where you can say, you know. But many of the people did not take heed. You did. And now Corona has come upon us like a thief in the night. You know, and to hear now that if St. Lucia goes down, the first mandatory. Yeah. If we go down that road to the first mandatory, many people are scared because they have no other option but to go down and take it. When you hear Antigua is forcing it, Guyana is forcing it, many of the Caribbean islands are going on that road. We have to wonder what will our Prime Minister do. I know for now he says no.
So what will you do then?
Well, Jonos, Kailash, I just like you know. Me and you have been there in that battlefield long enough, so I too have my own little escape route out of the system where a time is coming when I have to move. I have to move. If I believe in the word of the Almighty and I believe that the Creator has said and the prophets have spoken, Babylon will fall, the kingdom will collapse, and all hell will break loose. Because the vaccine, for me, Kailash, the producers of the vaccine, those manufacturing the vaccine, they are literally servants to a demonic power. That is why the whole COVID-19 pandemic is so dark and everything is done, you know. When the patient gets COVID, go to VH, you push in a side in a corner, you can't see them. If they die, even at the funeral, it's placed in a body bag, everything is just done and you just tossed away. I know people who have lost their family, I never see them. Why all this darkness? Why all this, everything is being done so hidden? You can ask questions, you cannot see your loved ones, everything is just, there's a lot of darkness all around this whole corona pandemic. So I know if this is not the mark of the beast, it is the countdown to it. And I don't know where you take on that, your take on that. But many religious people believe that corona pandemic has a lot to do, and the end game is the mark of the beast. Caller, you still there?
Yes, I'm still here. I'm just, Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. The reality of it all is that when it comes to life, that nobody cannot save. We cannot save. That's my perspective of it. Nobody cannot save anybody's life. Our life, we came on this earth, and that's what every politician figure they want to save our lives, or that's what we cannot be saved. That's it. We have to get over that. Frankenstein cannot bring back. He'll bring back a monster, but he cannot bring back life. We have to accept that death is definite. When it comes for our time, we cannot run from death. And that's it. When we accept that, then we'll not be a bunch of cowards thinking 10 people. We have Richard Frederick promoting the vaccine. Boy, you must take the vaccine. And next one on the TV promoting vaccine. Why are you promoting it so much? Why do you not promote what, like you said, how he said the natural medicine? Why do you not on television?
Yes. Well said.
All of that.
Because caller, there is a deeper agenda.
Have a good night.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you, Marcus. Large up yourself.
What we don't realize, caller, thank you so much for that wonderful contribution. But I'm asking Priest Kailash and many people, because of the fact that I realize and understand beyond the medical aspect of it, there is a hidden agenda. Okay, I don't believe that the vaccine is all about trying to prevent or cure the disease. If that was the case, we'd have been cured from it from taking a vaccine. There is a hidden agenda, an evil agenda, a satanic agenda, and we will see the end of it, because if I'm speaking the truth will stand. If I'm lying, we will see it. But I know for sure, when all the world leaders, all the CMOs, and most of these doctors who are bought and paid, and all the scientists are bought and paid, are singing the same song, then you have to be aware that something is going on, something sinister is going on. And Joe Biden, the president of America,
Joe knows.
Well, there's Joe knows and there's Joe Biden. And I'm saying to Mr. Joe Biden, you are on the wrong side of history. History will prove you wrong, and every one of them who push this agenda, history will prove them wrong. Because at the end of the day, the natural immune system will stand predominant, and all synthetic, enhanced, whatever vaccinated, they will all fade away, because you cannot play God with what God has created. Amen. So I mean I'm that kind of person. My conviction is very strong. I do not, if I'm not sick, I don't need your medication. When I say no, I mean no. I don't understand how a woman can say no to your sexual advancement and she is protected. If a woman says no to your sexual advancement and then you still carry on and you enter, it is called rape. How come when I tell you no to your vaccine, you still adamant at me, to the point that you want to force me now to take your vaccine? To me, I see that as you raping me, the individual. So I have issues with that. My choice, my right, my body. I don't want your vaccine, then we should be able to live at peace. Today, because I say no to the vaccine, I cannot fly on a plane. And I'm not talking about St. Lucia, because for now we're still. But in America, do you know in New York, in America, there are places now you cannot go if you don't produce your vaccine passport. But must you have anything to ask?
Somebody was asking you on how much is the herbal manual?
I doesn't really discuss them type of things. Yeah. Let's go by DVT and Jeremy Street and thing, and they could check it out.
Okay, so you heard that, brother?
Or go on our website, which is priestkailash.com. priestkailash.com, and you'll see the price.
Say it for them to hear again there.
priestkailash.com.
Now, Priest Kailash, between me and you, in my spirit, I believe that the heavens have anointed you at this point in time to do the work you have done. Because you came from far. I know you to a point where from how far you came. We met some 12, 15 years ago, and you've gone left, I've gone right. And
I've gone right.
Yes, and I've gone left. And we still, I'll humble and take that part. But we still come back to the full circle.
Yeah.
That today, Priest Kailash and myself and many others are fighting for the common good of humanity. And Priest Kailash, you have built Mount Kailash. Big respect to you for that, because the heavens know there is a point in time when people shall say, ones and twos, let us go up to Mount Kailash. You get ready for that, It's coming. And I likewise want to say that I am thankful, because in all of my movements, I never lost focus to the point where I know Priest Kailash is on the right path, and many others. So the time is coming when we may have to rally around each other. If the system is saying that the unvaccinated cannot do this, cannot do that, you're going to lose your rights, you're going to be treated like a second-class citizen, we need to come together, Muspas, yes. Priest Kailash, and all have to now see how we can be each other's keeper and help each other, because the time is coming when they will literally run after us. You're not hearing Muspas and Priest Kailash, the anger in certain people, when they talk to you, they are disrespectful.
True.
And I take great offense to that. I was speaking to the woman today, the doctor's wife, and in me asking questions, she was like, Jonos, you sound uneducated. Why you don't understand that the vaccine is? I'm like, wait, why are you insulting me? If I say to you, if I say to you that I have my concerns about the vaccines, there are many questions that is yet to be answered, and I believe that a 1-year-old vaccine. Let me ask you a question, please, Kailash. How many years would you say it would take to find that a vaccine that is, pass all the tests? How long would you say it would take for a vaccine to be approved in terms of?
About 10 years. 10
years. And therefore, just based on that answer, a 1-year-old vaccine, or how many months it is, because I don't think it's a year yet. Is it?
Well, probably. I mean, remember, everything is planned and script. It's a movie
So I know you're going to that.
You are living in a movie, So.
Well, they're really moving me. So carry on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a movie. It's theatrics, and that's why the TV and the news,
television,
and everything, and CNN and BB Blind and BB Never See, So the one point you said is that it's just because I don't like gossiping, I like to basically speak on what I know, and also I like to speak solution, speak things into manifestation. I don't want no problem. I don't want no stress. I'm not the one to sit down and talk about problems. I more would rather speak about what we could do to actually resolve. So in everything that might appear to be a disappointment, it's really a blessing. And
True.
Since we are blessed human beings, I know for sure that whatever is happening is for my benefit. Whatever that's happening is for my benefit. So I'm walking in this with the uttermost confidence
that we will prevail over all of it. Of course, of course.
Yeah. So it's not like people doing what they're doing, and if it is, that is what has to happen in creation for people to really check themselves. Then people have to check themselves. So you never see after a hurricane, when every house break down and everything mash up, everybody have to go down to the same river.
The same river, and humble again.
And humble themselves and carry their baskets of clothes. So there are natural circumstances, and there are other types of circumstances that does bring humanity closer together. Right? And this is an opportunity that we have to get closer to our families. So I don't really, we could sit down and we could talk about all the negatives about it, but yet still there are things that we could take from it to actually build us.
And because of stronger people.
So I spend more time with my children, and I give thanks for that, and I basically spend more time at home with my family, so that I give thanks for that opportunity. So even if somebody is trying to set up a whatever you call it, pandemic and lockdown and everything, all them things there, I have been able to use it towards my benefit. I'm still moving, I'm still creating, and we have products. It's not like as if, when the coronavirus came out because remember, officially it came into St. Lucia 2020.
Yes.
But
it was there from since.
Yeah, it was
2019.
Yeah. So now, when it came 2020, I already had a tincture that I use for Zika, chikungunya, and all them different things.
Right. So you already had a
called the answer. That's an antiviral.
Oh, so you had an answer before.
Yeah. So.
What's in the answer? Can you share it?
Yeah, I don't. Nothing I do is secret,
Sure.
Yeah, I have no secret ingredient.
You're not like the COVID people.
I have no secret ingredient, man. So we had already created a tincture specifically for the immune system, and people none of my people close to me never get the Zika or the chikungunya, or if they get it, the answer. I had all kind of people, magistrates, all kind of people taking on the answer, and they never get that from here all around the world. So at the end of the day, when it came to the COVID, I had my set of things that I know that I have to use to actually help to fortify myself. So it's not like you're sending somebody to war ignorantly.
Yeah.
So if it is that someone is ill-equipped, right?
They will fail.
They'll lose their life. So when in 2020, coronavirus, the virus hit my house, already, So I've been exposed to
you personally or your children?
My children and myself. I mean, if my children.
No, but you know, there are people who have lived in the same house, the husband or the father.
But you're still exposed to it. It's just how it affects you.
Point
right. So your immune system will still build antibodies because you get it. It's just that you're strong enough.
Right. Yes.
And I literally saw it go from. And then it's afterwards, they say, well, when people get it, can also cause swelling of the eye and all them different type of things. And I saw the youngest one got fever and was sick, and it was about a year and something, right? Then the 3-year-old, then the 7-year-old, and then it was going up like that up the line, and that is when I just went into and so when I tell someone, well, because you prepared, then I could tell someone, okay, if your baby it's a baby getting a fever,
you
could put a rag. I won't say so, and then put a rag in the freezer, or dip it into cold water and put it over the head to prevent them from getting febrile seizures. Because if your child have it, the coronavirus, and then yes, you do not believe in certain things, but you have to bring on the fever. So what are you going to do? Yes. You're going to put a cool towel over the forehead of the child, because don't mind how strong that you might play that you don't want the vaccine. If you're a father and you see your little child dying and things, that's what you run into. The same VH you run into and things, because you're afraid that the child will die in your hands. So at the end of the day now, there are key things that we have to learn to actually go through. So when it came into my household, right, is to control the fever. So I used the Lafledisivo, the white flower of the elderberry that break the fever fast, and it was transient, just ran through, and then that was it. And then even recently, we had a retreat, and because we have lots of international people coming and thing, and then one of the person who was there, when they were about to leave, they test positive, and 2 days on the answer, go back and test negative. Right, and then afterwards another sister was about to go to Canada, boom, PCR test positive, 2 days again, go back and take it in negative, and she could have fly. So we developed systems based upon what we know that we utilize. So when a man tell me vaccine, that's why on none of my platforms I'll be gossiping on what a doctor do, what a pharmacist. No, I say about what I can do. Right, so we don't just talk about don't do this, we talk about do this. The things that we have that's available right there in St. Lucia that can prevent us from bottlenecking the medical system. Literally to the point whereby hospital full and people outside and can't breathe and all them type of things, because these things that can happen. Right. And this is basically an example of what can happen
if you don't.
Because people might think, well, the coronavirus is it, but that's not it. So I mean, if the coronavirus can happen, then other things can happen. So what position are you in? What position are you in? Because remember that it comes, the brother said that a while ago, that people are afraid to die, that you have to embrace death. I have embraced my mortality, right? So you really can't
scare you.
Yeah, it's not like as if I know that I know everything, as Idi Amin said, right? So at the end of the day, it's not like as if I'm gonna bow. Come on, it's not like.
I think somebody said Prince Kilash may take the Cuban vaccine.
Me? I was in Cuba. I'm not a fan of Cuba, Remember, I studied in Cuba.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Cuba. I'm not these people who's a fan of Marxists and Lenin and Karl Marx and Lenin.
Yeah, that.
So I'm not a communist.
So let me say to you, Prince Kilash. Many people are saying they're looking forward to taking the Cuban vaccine. Is it any different?
I studied in Cuba, and Cuba was one of the places I saw the more racism. When it comes to the segregation of people of lighter skin and dark skinned people. I was in a university, one of the top universities in Cuba, in Cienfuegos, Ciencias Médicas de Cienfuegos. And then there was, in most of the years, you have one person that looks like black person that is in medical school, right? And they'll be more into the nursing and all these different aspects. And everybody, so they'll call it El Negro, El Negrito, you know, and El Blanco, you know. So the segregation of class in Cuba is very broad, you know. And as a man who actually believe in the divine, you know, in a space whereby people don't believe in the divine, you know, I'm not a fan of Cuba at all. I'm not a fan. So I would never, not because Cuba give vaccine, I probably would stay away from the Cuban vaccine more. You know, at the end of the day, I'm just telling you straight. I studied for 3 years in Cuba, you know, and as a Rastafari, I left. You understand? And as a scholar, when I left there, I was like a scholar. I didn't leave there because I left there because they were infringing my rights and my liberties as a man. And I left there, and after I left there, they arrested plenty Rastaman. Imagine that there were Rastaman who were in their 4th year, missing 1 year to complete the degree. And they test their urine and they find THC and they send them home. Wow. After somebody have invested all that years.
Yeah, but that's wrong. That's wrong.
Cuba is,
But then on the flip side here, you have Cuban doctors, borders, Doctors Without Borders, where they actually go in areas and literally help people for free.
Yeah, but the Catholics do that all the time. But the nuns just go and take the little children and check for them also.
But I just try to see the flip side and the good part of it. But I mean, you have many people saying that they were waiting for the Cuban vaccine.
Yeah, right. But go ahead, because as you know, Rastafari don't deliver no vaccine. Right, so it's not like as if I'm waiting for nobody. I just tell you, man, I have the answer.
Yeah, man,
I organize myself, and I'm not the kind of man that will wave a white flag and surrender. You know.
No, man, I don't. But Kailash, listen to me. So Kailash, listen to me carefully. Question again. The vaccine. Okay, I just want to make sure why you think the manufacturers put the proviso that if you take the vaccine and it does any injuries or cause death, we're not liable.
Well, that actually happened some plenty years ago, because what happened is that you had these different, I think was either the measles or the chicken, one of these epidemics had burst out in America, and you know, and the vaccine and the pharmaceutical companies, you know, they became like very powerful. And based upon, because remember before they used to be able to sue the pharmaceutical companies because of the adverse reactions
from the vaccines.
Yeah, from the vaccine. So what happened in America is that the government itself established a vaccine complaint unit and absorbed all responsibility for damages for vaccines from the pharmaceutical company to the government itself, the people. And also you had the VAERS, VAERS, Vaccine Adverse Reaction Recording System, actually established. So unlike St. Lucia, that you know, they hiding if somebody died. You know, the people hiding if somebody died.
From the vaccine.
Not from the vaccine. Well, from the after taking the vaccine, if it is that they had the vaccine and they die, or
whatever the thing
whatever it is,
vaccine related, whatever.
Yeah, but in America, you have the recording system. Even if
you have to report it.
Yeah, it's reported. There's a reporting system, but only 1% is actually reported. But anyway, you would still have a lot of the things there, but that's it. So it's a legal thing to absolve the pharmaceutical company of any type of responsibility. You know, but at the end of the day, again, I say it's up to you. So if you know all that as a man,
and you still decide,
right, and then you decide to take your vaccine, voila, right. So it is that you have to be free enough to allow a man. Because even if you're my brethren, and you tell me I want to take the vaccine, I say, yeah, man, give thanks, man. You know, just, you know, so I'll just see what I can do for you, I'll do for you. But at the end of the day, that's your choice as a man. And I won't use that against you.
And so, but Kailash, and here it is that we, the unvaccinated, and I can say openly that myself, you, and Prince Kailash are unvaccinated thus far, we show a level of love and understanding to our vaccinated brothers. What I have an issue with, why so much anger and disgust that our vaccinated brothers have towards us? Why can they not be the same way as you would say to a brother, you take your vaccine, Blessed love. Give thanks, my brother. I mean, I respect your opinion. But if you tell a man you don't need to give vaccine, because, oh, cool, what you doing by me? And they getting on all kind of, and I have an issue with that. Because we need to understand, respect people's opinion, people's rights, and respect what a brother says. He's taking his vaccine, you respect that. I don't want your vaccine, respect me also.
What can I say again? You know, the only thing I can say to that is that for years Rastafari have been going through the same thing. You understand? So it's not like that new. That's for, you know, the comb head and the plait head and the tie head. You understand that
So
that
now,
they just start getting the fire. You know. So they have to feel what the Rastafari have been feeling over the years. So for I personally, man, I don't really care what anybody have to say about how they feel. That's them, you know. I mean, if a man is angry, you know, I mean, he's already defeated. Yeah. You know, so if a man come in and they or they come in to fight, if and then they cursing and they by the time you check themselves, they might be on the ground there. You have to come and give them some water to drink because they you know. So we don't, as I say, I really sincerely do believe that the coronavirus has afforded us an opportunity. You know, so you now could create a virtual boat in it. So you could imagine you could stay home, right? And you could now, right now, nobody ain't going out and thing. Right. So you stay at your home and you use your head. You contract somebody from India, probably just give them about $1,000 US, you know, and they create this app for you, right, on your website where you could have a virtual beach, because all the time you go in, you know, all the coastlines. So you could literally just film it and have it into as a virtual tour. Joe knows tour, virtual tour, and you're at your home desk now. And then you have 12 people each paying you $100 US, and then you say, oh, right now we're in Ancillary and you're rocking on your right. And now, but I'm saying that you have lots of opportunities to be created. So it's up to you, man. You know?
I think we had a caller. We have a call.
Positive evening to you, caller. You live on Talk Truth to Power.
Hi, good night.
Good night, caller. Welcome.
Yeah, I just want to, I hear you talk about the vaccination and the system and everything. I want to know your thoughts about that, those curfew hours and everything. They're saying the virus spreading. What time do you really think that virus spreading? You think it's spreading from 7 to next day, or it's spreading from 8 o'clock in the morning to 4:30 in the afternoon? Why is people traveling the most in St. Lucia? So what's the real point on that lockdown and that thing? Where the science in that? I honestly want to ask that question. What time you'll feel that virus spreading? From 7 in the morning to 4:30 in the afternoon, 5 in the afternoon, or from time of lockdown 7 to 4 in the AM? Real talk. I listen to you all over the air.
Give thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Good question, caller. Please, Kilash.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, Bergen, you have to just look at what is happening. Okay, so when people gather, like you have politicians, they at all the rallies, you see, like even that.
Yeah.
They should have the ministers should have been the ones on quarantine and everybody's supposed to be free. Because at the end of the day, it was through the political rally.
That caused, yes.
So if you really have to take responsibility, then you say, well, Gasson, say, Nook first, I Gasson. So Nook I quarantine corner. Then we free up, say, Muna keep at the gather by politics. Now, so we know that when you have mass crowd gatherings, you have people drinking plenty of rum and behaving raucous and all these different type of things.
More likely the cases.
Yeah, more likely you have more cases of corona. You know, and whether you agree with me or not, I do believe that there is a virus. You understand?
There is something out there.
There is a virus, and then you can catch the virus based upon how you live and your immune system. So there are times that you would have more people turning up with a positive, and nothing wrong with that because everybody is going to get the virus, right? But what we have to understand in everything is that, and that's key, you know, that you don't want to overcrowd your healthcare system, because I deal with herbs. 99% of everybody else is the hospital they're looking at. So most of your callers that call in now today, if something happens to them, hospital they go in.
They come and check you?
You understand? They won't come and check me.
I come and check you,
I don't know them. You know, most of my people come from overseas, right? So at the end of the day, right, this is still what you have to look at. So it affords you an opportunity to say, well, look, garçon, see what the man out here, actual man like I fall sick. What quality of healthcare establishment that I have to take care of myself? Right, so it makes us to critically analyze our healthcare system and also critically analyze how people just live their life. So I was happy that they had stopped selling rum, you know, Gassan. I know about you all, I don't know about that, you know. I was very happy when they stopped selling rum. You know, so if
and stop the carnival,
you know, and if rum could stop selling and women and them could spend more time with their children. You know, and our hotel workers, they get a good break. You know, up like, okay, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, some people leave. You work 10:40, but you know, 10:40, the bus just finished 10 o'clock, and that's when the person going to their home. So it was a good break
for the people.
Yeah, for the people. So what I would say that is important is that we develop fiscal means, ways that we could actually be able to make money. Because for sure, I have a product for called the Answer, right? So the government of St. Lucia could just take that up.
Exactly, but Chris, I have an issue with that. You know, why are they not?
And we're making more money, so at least more people could employ. So right now, if I employ 45 people,
that is 70 and 100.
Then I can employ
Chris,
350.
I want to ask a question. Have you been approached by any of the government officials as to bringing you on board to assist the people in finding other better ways to help bring down the corona numbers? Because a man of your experience and knowledge, why have they not approached you in that manner to assist? Because I mean, you have a wealth of knowledge.
Well, at the end of the day, you know how it is. Christ was crucified. When Christ come and thing, and people were blind and he put saliva on the eye and make them see. Remember that?
Yeah, but we're in a pandemic. We need. Yeah,
but all the time they had people with leprosy and still crucified. But at the end of the day, you see, people is not. Remember, that.
you guys keep it okay,
No, but the thing about it is that it's not for everybody. Because remember, prophecy tell you that millions shall die because of the licky and the nyami. You understand? So many careless people will just die.
True.
Because you choose to live a careless life.
Exactly.
You understand? So it's as if it's not like I am going to come and have to put a gun in your head, right? And take my gun and put in your head. It is. Salvation is something somebody has
personal.
It's personal, and people have to earn that, Right. So that is why that I stand on the realms that you have a fundamental right to make a decision.
That's right.
You understand? So I'm not going to convince nobody not to take vaccine or convince you to take vaccine. And I will tell you that I will not take vaccine at all. And I will also tell you that as a scientist, when I critically analyze the science of a vaccine, right? If it is that it was me, the Right Honorable Priest Kailash, that was actually using my scientific intelligence and have some bright young youths in St. Lucia, you understand? And then we have big lab and thing, and and we're doing chemical engineering and biological engineering and thing, and we could create, because remember, the science of the nanomolecule is a brilliant science.
A brilliant idea.
It's a brilliant idea. I remember when I was speaking to this young sister. She's a chemical engineer. She's studying chemical engineering.
Just now when they had a call on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good night, caller. Go ahead.
Yes. Yeah. My point was the timing when you'll feel the virus really spreading. Them times like from morning.
When people gathering, man, the more people together.
Huh?
The more you together, because the more people together, the more you socialize.
More people gather from 8 to 4:30 than from 7
yes,
till
that's
4 a.m. That's my point. So how they come out with that science?
Well, it's them. It's them. Well, probably
everybody's gathering during the day. It's just a few people that go out during the night. But everybody had to work. Everybody have to. You ever see a supermarket empty?
Exactly, caller. Exactly. Good point.
Right. That's the science I would say is what time they feel that virus spreading. Because people believe it's nighttime it's spreading, like daytime the virus sleeping. But it's daytime, that's when people move in. That is when children go into school, people on bus, people in supermarket, people everywhere. Nighttime people are at their home sleeping, except those that want to socialize. So I want to know the science behind the times of the COVID. You understand?
But Kola, let me get straight to the point for what you're asking. To me, what you're asking is a very powerful question, but the answer doesn't really make sense because it does not add up why you choose to lock down on a Sunday and not on any other day, or why you choose to give Saturday.
That's why I asking you.
Why you choose to give Saturday 4 o'clock to lock down?
What science they have in them times?
There is no science. These people are going along, and as they go along, they're adding this. They're changing the script. They're doing things. They're making, because it's for them. It's an agenda that they have to push. They have been already. I can go deeper into this, but for me, it doesn't make any sense. My point is, like, during the day, that is when most people around, most people gather in. That is when people on bus, people everywhere. You understand? Nighttime, 6, 7 o'clock, people at their home, children at their home. That is when people in school. So to me, that is the time when the virus spreading, especially in the supermarkets. But of course, but listen, during the day.
What's the science behind that lockdown? That's why I want to.
Yeah, but listen, during the day, you have people at Macy's, you have people all over the place, you have other buses, you have everything. But there is no direct answer to give you because it will not make sense. It does not make sense why during the day you're allowed to go everywhere, do everything, and at night, when there is less people moving, you shut down everything.
So that means the virus sleeping during the day and nighttime alone is coming out?
Well, Ralph Gonsalves said so, and he got an EZ boost for that, you know.
All right, that's what the science I want to know, you know. Kailash, you're the scientist. Tell me the science behind them times. I listen to you over there. Okay, science?
Well, at the end of the day, my beloved brother, you know, I just follow my own science.
Science.
You know, I have my own science. I don't...
Thank you, Colin. Respect.
You know,
But you understand his point?
Yeah, well, I mean, remember, you know, the science says that you get the vaccine, you still get the virus.
True.
You get the vaccine, you still die from the virus.
Yeah.
You get the vaccine, you still transmit the virus.
Yeah.
So I mean, so that's the science that is being followed.
And that's what you want us to trust?
Me? I would tell you.
No. But they say trust the science. So.
Well, I trust my science.
Okay.
Yeah, I trust my science.
But not really their science.
Yeah, but I mean, and also science on the whole is brilliant because, as I was saying, the bio nanomolecule that they use to actually imagine that you could okay, you want to, there's a cancer cell that you want to destroy, a cell with cancer, and then what you want to do is that you want to mark these cancer cells with a particular protein. Okay, like you want to, because remember we're talking about microscopic, you really cannot see it. So what you want to do now, you want to put a target on that cancer cell so your immune system can come and could actually destroy. Let's say you have a big tumor in your breast, right? But what you want to do now, you want your immune system.
Program your killers to go and get rid of
kill them and kill that cancer cell, go and destroy that. All right, then you then take out the cancer cell, you critically analyze the cancer cell. You say, well, you see, all these cancer cells, they produce that particular type of protein. Okay, all right, brilliant. Okay, so then now, you could actually produce something, you see, like you say, they call it gene therapy, you know, right? So what you do then, you could produce what they call antigen presenting cells the same way, and you produce a medicine, right? And you put it in a bio nanoparticle,
and then put it inside the body,
right? And then it can penetrate and go into the cell, right?
And begin to talk to the cell.
Yeah, and then highlight it.
Yeah, man.
And then and all the cancer cells have that, so your immune system will actually destroy it. So it is not that the science of immunization, or what they call it, vaccine, I don't know if you've seen it, right? Or that science is actually is unfounded. It is the people that's doing it,
and that's the argument we have.
So
I'm with you.
Is that you have the same people who had the Tuskegee experiments, the same people who sterilized 400,000 people in Kenya, the same people who sterilized the people in India, the same set of people. So it is not that you have to just analyze the technology. The technology is brilliant. You understand? Is who is in charge of the technology.
Well
so
said.
so if it is that we really had the full intention to eradicate cancer and good. Yeah, man, we have no more cancer in the world, man.
So we have one more call. We'll take that one call.
Yes,
we have one call there.
Caller, good night.
Yeah, good night, gentlemen, Master, Johners, and Chris.
Yes, caller.
Yeah. I want to know if I'm making sense, because even when I watch it, the transaction are really spreading COVID. Nobody would really watch it yet, They say mass gathering, cover your nose, block your eyes, put gloves. But the biggest problem is the transaction of money. You have transaction on a daily basis. You leave one hand and it end up all your fault. Say if I'm on $5 in cash street, that might end up all your fault.
New York.
That's your hand. You hardly find the sanitization of money.
True.
They sanitize the counter, they sanitize the basket.
Yeah.
They might even sanitize all goods on the shelf. But do they sanitize the money that they
That's a good point. We use money all the time for true.
Right, but that is the biggest spreader. How you cannot find the spread? Say, for example, what they're really trying is for us to use the card. But just how they will come with it and say, yeah, the money spreading, they realize that the transaction of money spreading with COVID. You understand? I never, for one, support the lockdown or the shutdown. Because by now, if we really check it, then we should already have herd immunity, Because out of the 10,000 they give it us, we have to multiply that by about 5. You understand? So that is 10,000 that was tested. That's 10,000 who went and get the test done. So what about the other 40,000 that never go and get tested?
True.
You understand? There's 40,000 that never got tested. And we keep saying follow the science. The biggest science we have to follow is our own natural science, But everybody's immune system different.
True.
So if you're drinking coffee and it's going with you, I might rather drink tea bag. And maybe the tea bag will go with me. There are people that might say the vaccine will help them. And I personally know the vaccine can't help nobody.
True.
I believe in when your time comes, it's die, you're dying. Nothing can change it. Everything is written. You understand? The idea of that mandatory vaccine or want people to take the vaccine is supposed to be your choice.
Yeah.
The amount of things that we have had. I'll give one of the biggest examples is HIV and AIDS. What's about cancer? They yet to find vaccine for those things. But something so close to the common cold, which they feel that will control the world, they want to get a vaccine.
Right. Well said.
I am not an anti-vaxxer, I'm just not a vaccine taker. It is a difference. I can't preach against the vaccine. I'm not taking the vaccine.
But you see, caller, with that attitude and what you're saying to the vaxxers, you sound like you are anti-vax because you speaking against what the narrative is.
My brother, you know what's anti-vax? That is fighting it. I am saying I'm not against it. I am speaking of me, but not nobody else. What I'm saying, when they're taking the vaccine, I'm going to take some Fefen Latte, what? I am speaking of natural things, brother. Because they are natural. The same way the common cold is natural things to cure it, When you have the flu, what are they giving you? Right? Your granny said you drink some cocoa in 2 days, you're alright, brother.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so sometimes you have to move from the real science and go into natural science and see if natural science could work.
So
that's the real science.
Let me ask you a question, caller, before you go. So in the end, which one you think will win? The natural immunity or the vaccinated immunity or enhanced immunity?
The vaccine can't win because there's a lot of people that have myths about it. The only time you will take a vaccine naturally is when you're a baby, From the time you start growing on your hair and different things, and to make it worse now, technology-wide. Everybody have internet. the phones were stupid before, now the phone's smarter. Yeah?
Yeah.
The smartphone we have. So what you expect to happen? So
I believe a lot of people going to take the vaccine.
Yeah?
I believe like
what's that?
I believe that 99%.
So high.
Yeah, of people gonna take the vaccine. You know, I believe that.
Well, that's my belief too.
Yeah, I believe that there will be a 1%. You know, so like you have to be very strong.
To not to take it.
Yeah, not to take it.
Yeah, you must have a lot of strength.
Yeah, so at the end of the day,
again, like I tell you, it's always the individual. You understand? Because in the fight for the vaccine, you'll find groups. In the fight against the fight against the vaccine, you'll find an individual.
Look at somebody saying, my family saying get vaccinated or die. 2 of my aunts just passed from the Delta variant.
And that is what we face on a daily basis.
Yeah, so
the herd immunity, last thing the herd immunity they're looking for is it will come naturally, because by the time you check yourself, based on the other 40% that didn't go on test, that's what they might bring now, mandatory testing.
Yeah, I believe that man just have to be. At the end of the day, you see, other people just talk and think, but when the time comes to stand up for things, people don't really stand up. So, like, it's a time. We have a time in.
That's a Lucia culture, man. That's a culture in
that's not just Saint Lucia culture. Remember, Jesus. Remember Jesus.
Yeah, man.
I'm talking about Jesus, right? In the Bible, there's a man called Jesus that they write about. And he alone carries cross. Nobody come and stand up with him. Right? And look at Moses. Right? Moses was in the Bible too.
Yes.
That even his Miriam, his sister, and Aaron, the priest, his brother stand up against him. He alone. So look at Marcus Garvey, nobody stand up for him. Martin Luther King, he shoot him, nobody stand up for him. Malcolm X, nobody stand up for him. Thomas Sankara, his own people. You understand? So at the end of the day.
But these things happening even right here too. With that fellow, there was named Pancho, the man that was standing up for legalization of the criminalization of the herb. And what happened? He finally got a little peace done, you understand? So everybody now, Pancho. He became a prophet now. But all the time he was fighting people, was saying, boy, that's sending people bad. That's killing people. But that's the way life is, man. And like I say, boy, you never die before your time. So if you have to go through HIV and AIDS, diabetes, cancer, COVID, the time must come.
Respect, caller. Thank you so much because of the time.
Have a blessed night, man.
Yeah, man. Blessings there. Wonderful contribution. And again, continue watching the program and doing your research.
Yeah, and one more thing, Pris. Someone was asking, I just want you to answer that for them. How do they go about making the tea for the Feidufa?
Well, if it is that you want to do like a steam, because you could do a steam too, and you could just take like about let's say about 3 ounces of the roots, you pound it in a
3 ounces
of the roots.
Okay.
You got pile. So then
mortar and pestle.
Yeah, mortar and pestle. It will like burn your eye and you boil it in about a gallon of water, and then you put your head over it and you do a steam. Also, what you could do, you could actually just boil the root and cool it and drink it the same level and drink it as your water throughout the day. Okay. So you could make a tea with the leaves too, about let's say about the 7 grams of the leaves, chopped leaves, to a cup of hot water. You could drink that 3 times a day. These things are excellent. Or you could do a tincture, right? That is, you soak it in some alcohol, right, and leave it for 21 days, and then you could use it 40 drops in a glass of water as a tincture, right? So all these ways you could actually utilize that specifically.
Beautiful. All right, well, I mean, Muspas, Prisky Lash, we can stay here the whole night. I don't have no sleep in my eyes. I can stay there if you Prisky Lash and reason the whole night, but we know we have the studio, we have time, everything, and people want to get some rest. So we will give each of the panelists a few seconds to give the closing remarks, as we seal off this Wednesday TTP's program. We start off with Brother Muspas.
Yeah, Brother
give
Joe.
the guests the last.
Yes, Anto large up Empress Eminata, large up yourself. Yeah, Auntie Beverly, large up yourself. That's people whilst we go in there, they just commenting on what you've been saying and things. They saying, yeah. Honorable, give thanks again for answering us to come here, because our people, I know, need that kind of information, especially in this time. So I could have, as I say, sit there and listen and hear you explain to the people, because most times Brother Joe and I come there and do that. The people would just say, well, me and Brother Joe just, they're talking from the back of our heads. So it's good when we get someone like you to come on board and can explain, can go into, because I mean, you've done all your research into these things, to break it down for our people, and to hear even you on the natural ends now, explaining to the people, because that's my stance. You see, when our children fall ill, most times we run to the hospital. This right here, ask Brother Joe. I told him my daughter was feeling a kind of way, and I will not run to no hospital. I will run to the beach. I will run someplace else with my children, but not to the hospital. I mean, if maybe the child run and get a big scar and I don't have the tool to stitch them up and thing, that's when I would do that. But for healing and thing, I've studied enough that I know certain herbs to use. But as I brought you there, I wanted you to explain that to the people. You know, so they heard it from a different point of view, and give thanks for that. I appreciate, love that, and I know a lot of our listeners love that also. So give thanks to that. Give thanks to all those that stayed tuned to Talk Truth to Power there with us, and those that commented. We had so much comments in Facebook. I wish we were seeing it so you could have answered, because a lot of people were asking different questions. But I think you did an excellent job in elaborating on everything therefore. So thank you very much, Priskelash.
You're welcome, my Lord.
Yes.
Blessed love. Again, Priskelash, we will give you your final few words to your
That's not my final words, you know.
No, sorry, but I mean, as we live in the program, I beg your humbleness.
Yeah, well, I mean, you see, we just take things so serious. So every word is serious for us. You know how it is.
I know it is, fam.
Yeah, man. So definitely I give thanks, you know, for the divine opportunity. Again, I just like the people to know that, you know, that it is your responsibility as an individual to make the right choice for yourself. You know, and many of the things that we have watched on TV, you know, many of the things that we have read about prophecy, you know, you cannot buy and sell, and if you don't have these, many of these things, they are coming to a fruition, you know, and it is a point in time whereby you as a man or as a woman just supposed to just tell what you believe in, a time that you'll be tested, your faith will be tested, you know. So I would just like to encourage people just to focus on what they can do. Don't get carried away also by the talk, but stay grounded. It's a time that don't get too distracted. Stay grounded in what you know that is right. So eat well, exercise, you know, drink plenty of water, you know, squeeze your lemon in water and drink it, drink your herbal teas, you know, always try your best to actually utilize the time. Right, because plenty people will tell you guys, let's go and do this and let's go and do that, and when something happens to you, you alone stand. True. You know, so it's a time whereby one must supposed to, in their singularity, strengthen the plurality. So it's a time for self-love, whereby you love yourself enough that you become of such value that you're an asset to your community. Right, so then if my brethren have a problem, I could help him. If I have a problem, he can help me, and then so in our singular powers, we are able to actually help each other. So give thanks again, Honorable, for having I.
Blessed love.
And definitely, as you know, Rastafari has stood up against vaccination from times, and it's nothing new. I'm not going to give the the vaccine, no kind of a big fanfare. You know, it's just another vaccine. You know, and it rushed more than the others, but just another vaccine, and just like every other one, I'm going to refuse it. You know, so I give thanks.
Well said. Again, I want to say thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I mean, Priskelash couldn't say it any better. We want to thank him for coming through, and pray that the heavens give him a safe journey back to his family, and also thank his family for allowing him to come here. Priskelash, we have a lot of respect for you, and the platform is here for you to come back anytime you so desire. On any topic you feel like, you're more than welcome to come on TTP, Talk Truth to Power. Again, we want to say tune into next Wednesday for the next show. But beside this, myself, Prince Kailash, and Muspas want to say to everybody, have a wonderful night, and may the heavens give you a sweet rest, and you may rise in the morrows and be strong in your spirit. And as the priests have said, and I will concur, it is time for us to do some self-introspection and strengthen ourselves from within to face what is about to happen. May the Creator bless us, keep us safe, and may His face shine upon us, and that we may have health and wealth in due season.
Now, just before we go, just give me 1 minute, because I give the engineer that's not for our topic there, Kailash. I just want to do something. I gave Mr. Engineer, remember I gave you I sent 2 pics. Miss Catherine Seeley's saw nothing better to do but post on Facebook that Brother Jonos and me must pass. We spreading propaganda on our show. So she sent that, and we have people there watching for our better good, and give thanks to our community that within the 3 minutes she sent that, somebody already sent that, forward that to me. And then within there I went on her page. It's
gone viral.
I went on her page, but I couldn't comment there, so I went and personally inbox her that if she find we spreading any propaganda, come on the show and point out the propaganda to us. And it's about maybe now 12 hours later, she have not responded. And I tell you, within a matter of 3 minutes after, I responded to her. Okay, right away, and she have not responded. So I just want the engineer to put it up on the thing. That's what she said. Okay? On her page.
So you're giving enough thing that I won't even give them people that time.
No.
And
then I still send that message to her. Okay? But she have not responded.
Okay, alright.
You understand? Because when they want to come and sometimes you have to take it on.
I see it must pass.
You understand? Because if you can post that, we pushing propaganda. Okay?
But it is propaganda, you're pushing.
Well, again.
Yeah, and not, let me tell you, nothing wrong with that,
Yes.
Because the other people put in their propaganda.
Yes.
Well, I just want to say to the people out there that we on Talk Truth to Power are pushing the proper gander, the proper gander.
Yes.
Not any kind of propaganda. We're pushing the proper. Because to have Honorable Prince Kailash in your midst, he is speaking truth to your heart.
Yes.
That is the proper gander, the right one.
Yeah.
So Miss Seeley again, and I think you have the other. We want to again offer you that same invitation that we have given to our humble brother here.
Yes.
And Miss Seeley, you are free to come on Talk to Power and discredit anything we've said that is wrong.
Yes.
And we will have a helpful discussion and see how we can educate our people, because it's all about uplifting the people.
Yes. Give thanks.
Give thanks.